Welcome, everybody. Glad to have you here today. And what you're looking at right now is my friend Jay Connor. He has volunteered to help me with this event for you so that you can get all the sides of the real estate business. He's the expert in rehabbing houses. I'll let him tell you a story in a minute. Also, the expert in finding private money. And he helps me teach the Quick Start Real Estate School. And he's a very big part of it. So I'm glad to have him here. I'm glad to have him as a friend. And by the time we're through, I think you're going to figure out he's going to be somebody you're going to like to hang around. So how many boot camps have you done, Jay?
Well, it's actually 147. So my next
147.
my next one will be 148.
No kidding. Okay. That'll be in September right here. 148 events. Holy smokes. That means I've probably done three times that many, I guess.
Oh
I
my land is. Now look now on boot camp 150, I want to have a big cake.
Okay. We can probably handle that. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and get started. I think we ought to start by letting you tell them a little bit about your background, and they'll quickly see why you're here. And then I'm going to get right into my PowerPoints, and we'll go from there. And then you can interrupt anytime you see fit, and I'm going to come at you with some comments as well along the way. So, guys, get ready to take notes. Honestly, get ready to take notes. There's going to be so much information here. You're going to want to retrieve some of it. And obviously, I know you have some interest, or you wouldn't even be here to begin with. So this is a rare thing for you to see, is this much experience sitting in front of you today. In reality, not just seminar crap, which both Jay and I totally agree is what you need. So I'm fighting to keep my voice. It seems like every time I get on the camera, my voice goes away for me. So, I'm wondering if God's telling me maybe I should just shut up. What do you think? All right. So Jay, you came to me in 2009,
Yes,
correct?
it was February of 2009 to be exact for my
Yeah.
very first quick start boot camp.
Yeah. Where'd you come from? You were in the mobile home business, correct?
I was in the mobile home business. And then I was after the mobile home business, I was doing some real estate. And I tell you, Ron, I remember it like it was yesterday. I called up my banker, and I was doing some investments, and I learned over that phone call that my line of credit had been shut down with no notice to me. And I said, and Steve was my banker. And I said, Steve, what in the world are you telling me my line of credit is shut down? I said, I've got great credit. I've always made my payments on time. He said, Jay, don't you know there's a global financial crisis going on right now? I said, no, but you just gave me a financial crisis. I don't have a way to fund my deals. And so he said, well, sorry. Well, I sat here, Ron, after learning and having that conversation. I sat here and I asked myself a very important, powerful question. And I want to share this with everybody that's here on this webinar because the power is in asking the right questions. And the question I asked myself, I said, Jay, and by the way, this question will help fix any problem anybody's got. I don't care if it's health, financial, money, relationships. And by the way, these people run around saying, oh, every problem's an opportunity. I want to
Yeah.
throw up. I didn't have an opportunity. I had a problem. Now, it
Yeah.
became an opportunity, but it's a
Yeah.
problem at the time. So I asked myself, I said, Jay, who do you know that can help fix your problem with getting shut down at the local bank? And I immediately thought of Jeff Blankenship, dear friend. He lived in Greensboro, North Carolina at the time, and he was doing some investments. I called him up and I told him what had happened. He says, well, welcome to the club, Jay. I said, well, I'm not sure I want to be a member of that club, but what club are you talking about? He said, it's the club of having your line of credit shut down at the bank. He said, they shut me down last week. I said, well, how are you going to fund your deals? He said, well, have you ever heard of private money? I said, no. He said, have you ever heard of self-directed IRAs? I said, no. What is it? He said, well, there's this gentleman down in Jacksonville, Florida, by the name of Ron LeGrand, and he says he can tell us how to get private money. I said, what is it? Jeff says, I don't know, but Ron says we can get a whole lot of it really, really quick. So it's thanks to my friend Jeff Blankenship that I went to my very first quick start in February. And not only did I learn about private money, but I learned all this other stuff that all of y'all that are here on the webinar are getting ready to hear about. I'd never heard of subject to, I'd never heard of seller financing. I never heard of any of that stuff. I'd never heard of terms. I never heard of creative financing, all that stuff. And so I went there to the boot camp and I came back home. And in less than 90 days, thanks to what Ron taught me, I was able to raise $2,150,000 in less than 90 days. And since that time, I've never missed out on a deal for not having the funding. And then I went to do all these subject to deals. My very first subject to deal netted me $225,000, and I would have thrown it in the trash can. And you'll learn later in the webinar why I didn't throw it in the trash can. So, yeah, going to my very first quick start, I came back home and I'm going to share something with you all that's got nothing to do with me bragging. It's got nothing to do with my ego. I'm just telling you the facts. What can happen when you just do what Ron LeGrand tells you to do? And thanks to Ron and his teaching, in that first 12 months, I came back, I netted after taxes over $1 million in single family houses from what I learned at Quick Start and all the support that I got after I left Quick Start. So yeah, that was a changing
And
in trajectory of my real estate investing business.
that was a turning point. We all should have them from time to time. And your business is rehabbing houses, one of your businesses, and that's what you've been doing ever since. You've never wholesaled a house in your life, have you?
I've never wholesaled a house. I know how
Okay.
to wholesale a house, but
Yeah.
I stay in all my deals.
You live in a small city of 40,000 people. You only have three people on the payroll.
Correct.
And so, what are you netting nowadays? You only rehab about 30 houses a year, don't you?
Yeah. Well, it's actually slowed down a little bit. We're probably tracking right now 25 houses for this year.
Okay. And
But our
average
average
profit,
profits are knocking on $90,000.
90,000 bucks a house. That's net, 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 right?
Correct.
That's net
Correct.
before your payroll and your operating costs.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah. Okay. So what is your net running you now in the last couple, 3 years?
You're talking about the net to the bottom line. Well,
Yeah.
it's still not, it's over 1.5 million this year is what we're
Uh,
tracking.
and 2.5 million gross.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, gross profit.
Right. Sure. Gross profit per deal when you add all that up.
Okay. So I brought that up for a reason, you listeners. I want you to hear what can happen when a man gets properly trained and goes home and implements it and don't let anything stop him. And I'm going to show you where the money is in real estate today, but you got to be the one to take the reins and go out and make it. One thing Jay told me that I will not forget. I asked him, how'd you go make $1 million in his first year? He said, I just went home and told you I went home and did what you told me to do. I can't tell you how few people actually do that, Jay, as you
Right.
well know by now, since
Right.
you have become a teacher all of this time yourself. And so you have your own business of teaching and your business of buying houses and a couple of, and you do terms deal as well, don't you?
Yes, when I buy them subject to or buy them on any kind of terms, then typically I turn around and sell them on terms, sell them on lease purchase, rent to own. Because one of the many things I learned from you is the longer you own a house, the more money you make.
Which I'm about to prove. Okay. So your philosophy is same as mine. You buy for cash, you sell for cash. You buy on terms, you sell on terms, which means lease optioning them to tenant buyers, right? I
Correct.
agree. I do the exact same thing. Now, I am not renovating much right now because the market is changing. It is slowing down drastically, pretty much all across the country. But as you're going to see, I still do terms deals and some wholesaling deals and so forth. And I want you all listening to become what I call a transaction engineer. You should be familiar with the entire business because times are going to change, markets are going to change, and you just got to change with them. That's all. I've been around for 43 years now because I've learned to change with the times. Our biggest downturn, of course, was September of '08, like everybody else's when Lehman Brothers went down, but we got through it. And today the market is slow when it comes to selling houses cash to qualified buyers. It's not really slow when it comes to putting tenant buyers in the house that can't qualify for loans. So, John, if you'll turn me on over here, I'm going to get started because I could be talking to this guy for an hour and a half and not say anything. We've had a lot of conversations for over an hour and a half. All right. I'm going to show you a house that I truly did buy, worth 5.25, needed no repairs. I put nothing down, nothing, zero, nada, zippo, a $500,000 house, no credit, no bank loans, no application, no personal guarantee, no banks, no realtors, no costly entanglements, like Jay has when he rehabs houses. Because honestly, I've been rehabbed over 1,000 houses, but I got to tell you, from my experience, it's the hardest way to make money in real estate there is. And I'm guessing if you're here today, you're probably looking for the easier ways. Am I right? If I'm right, raise your hand. Never mind, I can't see you. Okay. All of you who have not started yet, I'm telling you, this is not as hard as you think it might be to get started. In fact, I've had some brick and mortar businesses. You want to talk about something that's hard to get started, go out there and invest a bunch of money and take all the risk and deal with people and employees and all that. And then you see what it's hard. I've had 6 restaurants, and trust me, they don't even compare to this opportunity we have today. So I'm going to show you how to make money inside your IRA and outside your IRA where you never pay taxes on it. We're not going to use your credit. On Planet Ron, using your credit is prohibited, absolutely prohibited. There's not a single family house deal out there that is worth you signing on a note as personal guarantor. That's the thing that will get most people in trouble. That's the thing that causes bankruptcies and hard feelings and sometimes divorces. Stay out of banks. Learn to operate this business by not using your money. Jay was just talking about private lending. Well, the truth is, most of that you only need in the ugly house business if you're going to buy and rehab a house. In the pretty house business, it's only a rare occasion where you're actually going to have to raise money to buy the houses. So in the wholesale business, you don't have to raise money to buy houses, period, because you're never going to buy the houses. You're just going to flip them. And I got a few examples of those my partner and I, Adel Kayati, have done. It's a part-time business. It could be a full-time business if you want it to be. But if you're operating this and you're spending all your time at it, you're wasting about 90% of your time. Today, we're systemized. Everything is automated. Very, very little work for you to do. I don't work in my business an hour a week. And Jay says he works 10 hours a week. I don't believe it. I think he thinks about it 10 hours a week. And because he's got a team. He's learned the art of delegation and systemization, which I'm going to work on you to actually get in that same position. It's a full-time income, very full-time, much bigger than most people give it credit for until they're in it a while and see the opportunities. A little bit about me. I've been around forever. For 43 years now. I'm in my 44th year. Can you imagine that, Jay? 44 years. Phew.
Wow.
In fact, next year is my 60th wedding anniversary. I can't believe it.
Hey, we need to have a party.
Well, yeah, we are going to have a party. We are going to. Been several businesses, still am. I've been teaching for, all but 7 of those years. And I've spoken with the biggest and the best. You might recognize this guy here. Yeah. By the way, his hair is real. I was standing there, I looked right down in it. It's coming right out of his head, in case anybody was wondering. We're going to cover the best ways to make the most money in real estate today with no money or credit. Now, you're going to use a little bit of money, so I got to tell you that. A disclaimer up front. If you're going to use money, it's going to be for things like closing costs, maybe a small down payment to a seller. And sometimes with foreclosures, like Jay is also the expert of, he teaches in the boot camp how 50% of his business comes from people that are in foreclosure. So he's a big asset to the training that we offer. How to build a monthly residual. Please underline that word residual. Okay, there's income, and then there's residual income that you only do the job once, and it keeps on paying you for years and years and years. I'm going to prove that to you with a couple deals here in just a second. Operate your business without raising money. Banks, large overhead, employees, or other costly entanglements. In fact, you don't need any employees in your beginning days. I didn't have any employees for 2 years when I started in the business in 1982. And you don't have to go to the bank. You don't need anybody's permission to do anything. You never have to fill out an application. Nobody's going to check your credit report in any of this business that I do. That's the way you got to run your business if you want to stay afloat. I can't tell you how many people that have went down simply because of that. Why the coming recession? Well, let's see. You think there's going to be a coming recession? It's either yes or no, or I don't know. Truth is, I don't know. You don't know, and nobody knows. But I will tell you this, there's always going to be one. We just don't know when, okay? I've been through 6 of those recessions in my career, survived all of them, kept on plowing. They didn't stop me from buying houses. Because one thing I learned during that process was that people are always going to buy houses, no matter what the economy is or who the president is or what the interest rates are. Look at them, they're buying houses right now, slowing down, largely because of the interest rate, but they're still buying houses. And I'm catering to people who can't get a loan at a bank anyway. I like release options. I put people who can't qualify for a loan in the house. Now, Jay has to have people that qualify. But when you get a chance to see what he does to these houses, you'll see why he sells them very quickly, especially in a small town with not much competition. I don't have that luxury here. Got a lot of competition, and all of you that live in the larger cities have a lot of competition as well. So what? Just for the record, I never worry about my competition. I always make sure they were worrying about me. Uh, Most people think that real estate is all about finding junkers and flip them. I've done over 3,000 houses in my career, but that's not why you're here. I mean, I'm going to show you some houses that we did flip without buying them, but I'm going to tell you the real money is in the terms business. So I'm going to prove that to you here in just a second. Now, look, the two fastest ways to make money are flipping junkers, wholesale, or getting paid non-refundable option deposits measuring in the thousands from nice houses in nice neighborhoods. So we'll explore both here. And Jay, when we get to talking about anything that have to do with rehabs, I want you to jump in there. Jump in there, not junk in there. Jump in there.
I think they call that a Freudian slip.
Yeah,
But
whatever.
yeah, I'll jump in when I think I got something valuable to say.
All right. So that might take a while, huh?
It might take a while.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to show you some houses here. I'm going to tell you right now, none of them are I hope they're not your dream house anyway. If they are, you need to up your dreams somewhat. Number one, this is a house that is worth about 175 repaired, which incidentally is very close to about half of our median price. Write that down. Median price is going to be very important to you because you got to be well below the median price if you're going to make money in the junker business. The deals are in the low end median price, not in the median price, not in the higher above median. Because the below the median price, when I say below, I mean the apt to repaired value, the R. This one was only 175, which frankly, there aren't very many of those left in Jacksonville, Florida, where I'm at today. But I've done hundreds and hundreds of houses that look just like that. We bought it from a seller who came to us through our marketing and told us, I think they told us they wanted 60, and we asked them what's the least they'll take, and we got them down to 48,000. House needed at least 50,000 repairs. We put it on the market immediately. We haven't even bought it yet. We do have it under contract. We sold it for $85,000 cash and closed it in 9 days. Now, folks, I want you to look at the size of the deposit down there. So the first time one of you has come to me and say, I don't have any money, you got to know I am not listening to what you're telling me. I didn't have any money when I started either. I needed $10 to put this thing under contract. If you can't manage that, borrow from somebody. $10, and I was in and out in 9 days. I'm getting a reverb here, John. So made $37,000 by getting a contract and flipping the contract. Let that sink in. That's why a lot of people coming in are so attracted to the wholesale business. And I get it. I understand it. I got no problem with wholesaling as well. Well, there's problems as well as the good side as you find in any other business. Here's another one. Look at this one. Netted $52,000 on this house. And you can see it's nobody's dream house. Put under contract with what size deposit? $10. Sold it in 11 days and netted $52,000. No expenses except the title check and a $10 deposit. I can do this all over the country. Now, you might be asking, well, how you get them so cheap? Well, because that's what the seller agreed to sell them to me for. That's why, especially when we use my scripts that are being used all over the country right now. The purchase price was 60 and in and out $52,000. Here's what the house looked like inside. Maybe that'll give you an idea of why we got it so cheap. You never bought anything like that, have you, Jay?
Actually, one of my very first houses did look like that. It was a hoarder house,
Mm-hmm.
and the guy that was living in it, he worked at the local dump, and he brought home everything: stop signs, fire hydrants. It was all in there.
Okay, so anyway, I'm gonna go back to that in a second. You got $10, you can put it under contract. Now that's with FSBOs now. You will not put one under contract with the MLS. And I got to tell you, the MLS is not where you're going to get your deals right now. There's too much competition out there. We're offering way more than you should be offering. better come let me teach you, or you're going to make a big mistake that could cost you a ton of money and a lot of time wasted doing the wrong things. Again, we didn't buy this house. Make sure you get that up here. We did not buy this house. Put it under contract, flipped the contract, got a check, 52,000 in 11 days after we put it under contract. Another one. I could go on for hours, but I got 4 or 5 of them up here that just picked. Now that was worth 310 repaired, and we only netted set to $27,000 on that one because we had to do some stuff to it. I think we put a roof on that one before we sold it because it was not in good shape. Probably shouldn't have. But anyway, 27,000 is 27,000 the way I look at it. So we just took it. My minimum that I want to get on these wholesale deals is 20,000. I wish I could say I do that every time, but as you can see, sometimes we get a lot more, depending on how good you get at buying. By the way, this was a probate lead. This lady had died 11 years prior, and that's why all that stuff was still in the house. Here's one of the cheapest ones. I've never seen this house. My partner brought it in, and we only netted 15.3 on that one, and I almost didn't do it, but then I said, 15 grand or nothing. We had a committee meeting, and 15 grand won over. This is the cheapest one that I've done as long as I can remember here. Look at that piece of crap. Netted 13.5 in a poor neighborhood. 14, look at it. R was only $120,000. I used to buy a lot of houses with the R of 120, but that's been a lot of years ago. Now it's a very rare, but that's because this thing is inside of a war zone is the reason. All right. You do get a nice check on wholesaling or rehabbing, but you pay more taxes because it's short-term capital gains. Pay half the taxes. There's no residual income. You got to get up and go to work every day or you run out of money. You don't keep churning and burning deals, you don't get paid. Unlike the other side of the business we're getting to next. So you got to keep on working or your income stops. So every time you sell, you kill the golden goose that's laying the golden eggs. I love these golden geese. I love the houses that keep paying me for a very long time. And the reason is because they're terms deals. They're not all cash deals. We don't buy them at the prices I just showed you on the junkers. We buy them based on the terms we get. And that's what we're going to get into next. There's really only 3 kinds of these terms. First, I can lease it with an option to buy. And you're going to probably do some of that in special occasions. For example, I'm thinking of Maryland. Closing costs are super high. There's several states that are super high. And when I buy a house and the seller will just give it to me, I got to pay the closing costs. So just make a note, if the closing costs scare you to death, don't buy it, at least purchase it. There are no closing costs. You get the same amount of money, except you don't get the depreciation that you do when you own a property. Then there's the owner financing. Almost every house I buy in the terms business, I buy with owner financing, keeping the 2 that I'm about to show you. That means the seller takes back a mortgage on the property, and many times that mortgage to the seller is for the same amount they owe the bank. I don't go to the bank and get money to pay them off. Loan stays in their name for years and years and years to come. By the way, loan stays in their name on any one of these 3. When I lease purchase the property, the debt's still there. It's on the seller's credit report. Same with owner financing. But I buy it because they want to sell it and they're motivated to get rid of it for one reason or another. And then we get the deed. They call that subject to. You've heard that term if you're on this webinar, I'm sure. I don't really do much of them because I have a little problem with that. I've done a lot of subject to deals, but I don't do them anymore because it's not exactly good for the seller. All right, good for your buyer, but most of the time the seller don't get explained to them the danger of selling a house subject to. One danger is if you don't make the payments, they can't foreclose on the house because you don't owe them any money. You've just taken over their debt. Another danger is if they want to go qualify for another loan, that loan is going to stay on their credit, and they can't produce anything that will offset that income like they can if I'm lease purchasing it or if I'm buying with owner financing. So get deed is big, it's popular, but it comes with a downside. See, nobody properly explains the danger to the seller when they buy their house. Now, if you're taking notes or taking screenshots, if I were you, I'd take one of this one. This is why Jay still does terms deals as well as his rehabs. Here's your residual income coming up. Number 1, you get monthly cash flow from the difference between what you collect in rent and what you're making the payment underneath. That monthly cash flow keeps coming for years and years and years and years most of the time. And you don't do anything but collect the rent and make the payment. Now, in my case, probably in your case, I also make them do all the repairs on the house as part of their option agreement. I do no repairs. I guarantee the major components in the house, the AC, electric, and that for 30 days. But remember what kind of house I'm putting them in. I'm not putting them in a junky house in the war zone. These are nice houses in beautiful neighborhoods above above the median price. In Jacksonville, my median price right now is about $295,000. Almost all the terms deals that I get are above that. All the junker deals I get are well below that. So you need to know what that median price is. So if you don't know, ask Siri or ask Google, what's the median price home in blank city? And then you'll get your answer. That's a very important number to you because, again, junkers below, terms deals above. Now, obviously, there's exceptions. Some of my junkers are above that, but they're very, very few. Jay, I know some of yours are above that, aren't you? Aren't they?
Oh, my land, yes.
What
So I do my best, and this is just wonderful advice from you. And that is in the single family house business, I keep most of my deals that I'm doing around that median price or a little bit above it because that's where most of the buyers
Yeah.
are in the first time home buyer price point. But yes, I do higher price homes as well. I did one down in Emerald Isle not long ago. Sold that house for 895,000. Last year I did one right here on Arundel Street. Sold that house for 600,000. And
Hmm.
so we do all of that, but the lion's share is still hanging around that median price.
Um, what net was your net on that last one you just did for 600,000?
Oh, the 600,000, yeah, that was over here on Country Club Road. That was 100, it was over 100,000.
Okay.
It was somewhere around 125.
You know that a lot of the people watching right now thinks you're making this stuff up, right?
Well, there's one thing about it. Um, public record shows what they were bought for and
Yeah.
shows what they were sold for.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I ask you that for make a point. I'm not telling you if you're going to do rehabs. I'm not telling you not to do them above median. They're all going to be above median. But when you learn to operate without risk, which we do, no risk, we don't guarantee debt, then you'll do away with this fear of dealing in higher price stuff, especially in the terms business. And just ask yourself, how many people in this country do you know that don't make $100,000 swapping hours for dollars 50 weeks out of the year and being told what to do day in and day out? Jay makes, I've done a few that I made over 100 as well, but trust me, they're the exceptions. They're not the rule. Um, all right, and the debt pay down. This is one people think they don't think about. Every time you collect rent, make a payment, that underlying balance goes down and down and down and down and down, no matter how you buy the house. Lease, seller financing are subject to. That's the case. You get the benefit of that. I'm going to show you how important that is on an example here in just a second. Appreciation. Now, the last couple of years, we have had a boatload of that. Now, some of it's being taken back, which is normal. Whenever prices go up like they were, some of it's going to come right back down, but nowhere near what they were before they started going up. So we might have had a sharp increase in prices. Okay, it's just adjusting a little bit. It ain't like we have a crash or anything, at least not yet. So don't. In fact, I'm going to show you a house. First one I'm going to show you doubled in value since I bought it. Doubled in value. Depreciation, you get that regardless if you buy the house. You don't get it on lease purchases, but you get it any way you take title to the property, you get depreciated. And if you take title in December, you get to depreciate it for that whole year. Now, that's a big deal, especially when you got a bunch of them out there. Literally, you could do away with your taxes. In fact, I hope you get to the point to where you don't ever do away with your taxes, to be honest. We all need to pay our share to the government. And Jay and I can't support this whole country on our own, can we, Jay?
No, we can't.
We need your help. Although I'm going to teach you how to sell houses for cash and never pay taxes on them at the training. 3 different ways you can sell houses for cash and not pay taxes. So just put that back here. But you make a bunch of money, you're going to have to pay some taxes. Just get over it. Forfeited down payments. Geez, I hate to disclose this in public, but when I put a lease option tenant buyer in a house, only about 10% of them wind up actually going out and getting a loan, fix what's broke, and go out and doing all that stuff. It's either credit or debt ratio or can't prove income or brand new on a job or whatever. Time can fix all of those things, but people just don't do what they need to do to get cleaned up to go get a loan. And after they live in the house a couple of years, they lose a lot of the motivation to do it anyway, or they don't like the neighborhood, or they don't like the neighbors, or they can't afford really the house and all that stuff. I don't even ask them why they're leaving, but 90% of them do leave. Now, put that in your bank trust up here, because when I say 90% of them leave, I don't put anybody in a house with less than a 5% non-refundable option deposit. They lose that when they leave. They lose it when they leave. You don't get, they know they're not getting it back. Now, if they buy, they get it credited toward their down payment and, obviously off their purchase price. But if they don't buy, they forfeit it. Very clearly spelled out in the agreement. So that's a big income stream from these pretty houses. You don't get it overnight, but most of them you're going to get. I give my people 2 years, and I'm never going to move anybody out of a house if they haven't bought it in 2 years. I just don't do that. I just let them keep on renting, period. And they pay my loan off for me. They pay off the house. So I love these tenant buyers, and all you landlords out there. And they're not tenants; they're tenant buyers. Huge difference. Huge difference. Tenant buyers give me no less than 5% down on a non-refundable deposit. You ain't never going to get that out of a straight tenant. You don't get thousands of dollars up front unless they intend to buy. But our intentions don't always work out, do they? Okay. And then the equity, when we actually do cash out of it, the money, just grows every month, and we save taxes while getting the debt paid down and getting all that monthly cash flow. When I say a golden goose, that's a golden goose. And as I said, they're responsible for the repairs after 30 days. Now, first slide was how I bought a $500,000 house for $440 in excellent condition, with none of those things you see. So here's the house right here. This is in the neighborhood is called Middleburg. It's a lot of people think of it as a redneck area, and it has been a redneck area for all these years. But when this escalation of properties started going up, they started building houses like this out there, and this one is sitting on a pretty good sized pond, and it had it appraised for $521,000 in excellent shape. We didn't do anything to this house, so just look at these numbers. Appraised for 5.25. Purchase price was $440. I think the seller started out at $460, got her down to $440. Now make a mental note. The underlying loan on this house was $335,000. So we bought it on a wraparound mortgage, as we call it. Our mortgage, meaning my land trust mortgage to the seller, was for $440. The $335 was none of my business. The seller and I pay the seller's bank directly. I don't pay the seller. Seller get no money monthly. And the 5-year balloon on this one. Usually get longer, but 5 years is the best we could go on this one. By the way, there's a video of me sitting at the kitchen table negotiating this on YouTube. I don't know what to put in there. Put Ron negotiating a deal or something. You'll find it. So we gave her exactly what she asked for. Nothing down. She asked for nothing. We gave her nothing. And we agreed on the price. And then we agreed on the payment, $2,500 a month, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, because that's what her underlying payment was. My friends, when I buy these houses, I almost always buy them and make the payment for the underlying loan, and the seller gets nothing during the time they're waiting on their equity to pay them off. That wasn't her main concern. Her husband was sick. They'd already bought a house in Vegas. They had to get out, and they were more motivated to do that than all the rest of this stuff. And the condition was excellent, like I said. Now, here's the plan. Option the house for $529,900 and get a minimum of $50,000 deposit. On beautiful homes like this and beautiful neighborhoods like this I can get 10% quite often. Certainly not often. In fact, the lower the price, the less chance I got of getting a 10% non-refundable option deposit called INROD. And this house will easily command $3,000 a month. So if I'm paying $2,500 and I'm collecting $3,000, what's the difference? This will be on the test at the end. Sorry, there won't be any test at the end. Okay. Well, yeah, I know what you're asking, but Ron, how did you get no money down? And the answer was, I let the seller tell me what the offer was. You see, we don't make offers. We ask the seller what they want. We ask the seller questions. We answer their questions with questions until we come to a conclusion. And reality is the seller makes me the offer. Put that in your skull right now. The seller makes us offers. We don't make them offers. And my friends, that applies to anything that you ever buy or sell inside and outside of real estate. Never be the one to name the offer first. If you get in that habit of not doing that, shutting up and listening and asking the right questions, you'll find that you'll get deals way better than you thought you were going to get before you open your mouth and kill the opportunity to get the good deal. So I also never name the down payment when I'm selling the house. And I never name the monthly payment when I'm selling the house. I let the tenant buyers tell me the most they can put down and the most they can pay per month. That's how we get the big monthly payments and the big down payments. We don't. I put the price on the house, which is always more than what it'll appraise for, sometimes quite a bit more. And I know Jay Connor does that too. You do that even on the ones that you rehab, don't you, Jay?
That's right. That's right. And this point that you're making right now, Ron, is a huge takeaway. When I went to my very first quick start, um, I, this did not sink in so well the very first time. And I want everybody here on the webinar, I want y'all to sink this in, because landlord mentality means the landlord sets the monthly payment. But
Yeah.
when I'm telling you, when you let the market tell you what they'll pay per month, you will be amazed. And so when you get to the training, we're really going to drill down on this and really give you the exact scripting as to how you get them to tell you the monthly payment. So these people that are buying these homes on terms, they do not have a renter mentality. They do not have a tenant mentality. It's a whole different relationship. They're not calling you to fix the toilet. They're not calling you to fix this or that. They have got the mentality of an owner of a home. And we tell them, for all practical purposes, this is your home. We're just not going to transfer ownership until you're ready for your mortgage. So just the relationship with these people is just so different than a
Yeah.
traditional tenant.
And when they move, they call you and apologize and leave the house clean. That's the kind of people you're dealing with. And if you do it right up front, they won't even ask you for their money back on the back end. Now, some of them might ask you, but that don't mean you're going to tell them no. They're perfectly clear in writing in front of an attorney that their deposit is non-refundable. Um, uh, Never mind, John. So why don't they just get a bank loan? I've already said why. Because they can't get a bank loan. That's why. Can't qualify. 70% of people who love to buy a home can't buy the home by going to the bank and get qualifications. They just can't because of one of those reasons. I got this off the internet. 35% of the people get turned down after they apply. So I 70% I made up because I can promise you there's at least that many that don't even apply because they know they're going to get turned down, but they'd love to own a home. The desire for home ownership is extremely strong in this country. And I don't care what the market is like. I have no problem finding tenant buyers for all these houses, including right up to. I'm having a little slower time than I normally do. I got to tell you that. But still, when you got 70% of the market that needs to come through you to get a house, there's plenty of people out there that would love to know you exist. So how many $50,000 checks will you need to be out of work and free? And how many $500 a month checks do you need before you can fire your boss? Remember, that $500 a month comes in long after, every single month, long after you buy and put a tenant buyer in the house. And it very well may be the house will come back to you in the future, and you can get that non-refundable deposit all over again. The next thing you know, years goes by. I've had 3 properties that I know of, Jay, that I've had 6 tenant buyers in it before one of them actually bought, or before I sold the property. 6. Every
Right.
one of them forfeited their deposit. All right, let's see what happens when you keep. Now, listen, if you're capturing anything, you might want to get your phone ready to do some screenshots or just whatever you're playing this thing on. I don't know. You're probably going to want to capture these pages so that you can put this puzzle. I know I'm going pretty fast. And by the way, John, we didn't tell them how to ask questions, did we? I didn't. No, I didn't. write down your questions. And do you want them to put them out on the side or what? Can they put them on here on Zoom?
Yeah, there's a Q&A button down at the bottom of your Zoom screen. You
Yeah.
can just type them in there. And if you want to come on camera, when it's time, we can bring you on camera too. Just raise your hand and we can let you talk to Ron directly.
Yeah, you see us. Why can't we see you? All right. Now, this house, I got to tell you, I bought it 11 years ago now. Bought it in 2014. It's right down the street from my home, 3,300 and some odd square feet. And I'm going to show you now the profit centers that have come out of this house since I bought it. And actually, that's through 9 years. I got these numbers through 9 years. So here's where the real money is in real estate, and here's where the real wealth is in real estate. Now, buy properties and don't sell them, contrary to everything you see on the internet. We got a call from this couple who were moving to St. Louis in 2 weeks for a job transfer. They just had it listed and it expired, and they had a problem. They had this $385,000 house, a beautiful house in a gated community, only 3 years old, I might add. They owed $351 on it, and the payment was $1,925. And they made it very clear when they contacted me that they will sell for what they owe. You'll find that most people with these numbers will sell for what they owe. I put it on the market for $395,000. We always raise the price somewhat. And I got a $50,000 non-refundable option deposit on this beautiful home and $2,500 a month. Remember, I was paying $1,925 and 2-year term. I put them in there for 2 years. I asked them how long they would need to get qualified. They said 1 year. I said, good, I'll give you 2. All right. So I made $50,000 in just a few days as soon as I got their deposit. It actually took a few weeks to get somebody with $50,000. Everybody wanted to come in with $10,000, $15,000. So I said, nope, I'm getting $50,000 or I'm not putting anybody in this house. It's a man thing, macho man. All right. And I was beginning to wonder if I was going to get my 50, but finally a couple came along and that's what they had to put down. So their loan was accepted. Can you spend the 50? I always get this question. I'm not a realtor. I don't have an escrow account. I don't need an escrow account. I have a contract to buy the house. In this case, I'd already closed on the house. I own the house because all I had to pay was closing costs, which was about $4,000. And I bought the house 2 weeks after we met. We closed on it. When that 50,000 comes to you or whatever that number is, it is your money. Your money. It doesn't go in any escrow account. You're not a realtor working for someone else. And you can spend it any way you want because the buyer is not ever going to get it back, no matter what they do. If they buy, it gets credited on their closing statement as the down payment, part of the down payment. If they don't buy, they forfeit. It's just that simple. So it's your money, whatever the heck you want to do with it. And you're going to grow to like these defaulted deposits. And I'll say again, I don't do anything to ever discourage anybody to buy. I don't do anything illegal, immoral, or unethical, and you don't have to either. In fact, we take care of the people who take care of us. We don't take advantage of them. And you're going to run your business the way you want to run it. But I'm telling you, you're going to sleep better at night when you run it the way you were on the other side of this thing. And you don't last for 43 years in this business by taking advantage of people. I can tell you that for sure. I'm sure you run across some of those, haven't you, Jay?
Absolutely.
In fact, I've heard Jay told stories, and I got a bunch of stories where we actually didn't buy the house because once a little suggestion from us, they could get out of the mess they were in if they were in a mess, and especially people in foreclosure. You know what? It didn't hurt me a bit. I know it didn't hurt Jay a bit either. In fact, it kind of make you feel good, don't it, Jay?
It does. It does. And you mentioned earlier all the foreclosure business that I'm doing these days. I'm buying all those houses on terms. I'm buying directly from the owners. I'm not buying these foreclosures at the courthouse with all the competition. And in fact, at the training, I'll actually show you step by step how to find these people and talk to them before their house goes to sale. So the foreclosure business, before it goes to sale, this is all about terms.
Yeah, that's pre-foreclosure. But sometimes you have to write a pretty good sized check to make up the payments, don't you?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, those payments have got to be brought current,
Hmm.
but I'll also show how you can use private money in second position to,
Hmm.
without using your own money to bring the payments current
And you're also going to show them how to borrow more than they need, aren't you, Jay?
and bring home a check when you buy.
That's right. And get another one when you sell. That's correct. Or put a lease option tenant buyer in it. What percentage of your deals are coming through free foreclosures now, Jay?
Right now, it's not quite 50%. It's about 40% though. It's the majority.
Yeah. And that's from a series of letters and a sequential mailing system that you have developed. All right.
That's right.
All right. Uh, plus 575 a month. You know, 575 a month, you don't do anything for, but collect the rent and make the payment. And I don't do either one of those. Person for that. So when you get cashed out, you get to keep all the cash above the loan payoff. That's going to mean something real important to you here in just a second when I show you what this house is making me. So how long does it take to get cashed out? Never, I hope. Remember, when you get cashed out, the goose dies dead. So in this case, they moved out in 2 years. Moved out in 2 years. Called me, apologized because I couldn't buy. And she did ask me if I was going to get my 50,000 back. She said, "I don't. I guess I'm not going to get it back, am I?" Which is the wrong way to ask. I said, "No, that's true." And that's the end of that question. And they forfeited 50 grand. Why? I don't know. I quit asking why a long time ago. I don't really care why. Just know that they wanted to move, and they did. Left the house clean. Now they did steal my washer and dryer that I got free from my seller the first time, but for 50 grand they can have a washer and dryer. I don't care.
I was going to say, Ron, I don't think we're going to feel sorry for you on that washer and dryer.
Oh, come on, Jay. Now, this is what I want you to make sure you capture with screenshots. If I would have sold that house to that couple, that first couple, here's what I would have lost. This makes the whole point why you don't want to sell houses. Number one, I purchased it for 351. Recently, I did some comps on it. In fact, we do comps on this house almost every boot camp. At that time, it was worth $707,000 over that 9 year period. Now, that's $356,000 the house made me just for collecting payments and collecting rent and making payments. Now that house has come down quite a bit. It's only worth about 660 now. So that gives you an idea of what's going on in this marketplace and many others as well. On the other hand, if it went up 356, maybe I could put up with it coming down, down to a little compared. I'm just giving back some of the money that the market gave me, during all of these years. Most of it was in the last 2, 3 years. And besides, I don't want to sell a house. So why do I care what it's worth now if I don't want to sell it? It's going to come back. $62,000 worth of cash flow, as made me 62,000. Tax savings of $80,000 just because I own the house in 9 years. And debt pay down, and get that, look at that. Debt pay down of $91,000 over that 9 year period, which means I owed, at the time I did this, 91,000 less than the 351 I bought it for. That is a wealth builder right there, ladies and gentlemen. So 9 years, that house has already made me $595,000. No credit, no money, no repairs, no realtors, no banks, no costly entanglements. And tenant did all the work, whatever work needed on their own, and paid me $50,000, which is not in that formula. Okay. So in reality, it's $645,000 and I still own the house. The longer you own the house, the more money you make. It's really that simple. Now, listen, sounds like I'm preaching against wholesaling and rehabbing. I'm not. I'd like for you to do it all, become a transaction engineer. But think of all these wholesalers out there, all over this country, out there doing nothing but wholesale, wholesale, wholesale. You can imagine the fortune they're walking away from because all they know is wholesaling. Many of them have never even heard the word terms or none of that stuff. They wouldn't know it. How many deals do you think they've lost while they were looking for these junkers? Well, I want you to be prepared to take care of any opportunity comes along with you and quit walking over the dollars to get to the dimes. So let me help you shave 10 years off your learning curve. Now listen closely because this is your opportunity today. Like my opportunity was in March of 1982, and Jay's was in February of 2009, to change your direction create more wealth than you possibly can imagine you can get out of real estate at this point. And not only that, do it without personal risk and create tons of cash flow along the way as well, both taxed and tax-free. So we're about to show you is something that I've been doing now since 1991, and Jay's been in there about what half of that or so. Okay,
Right.
because they do such a great job of teaching this thing, and I only bring anybody into this event that actually doing what they say, and I don't have to worry about them, not delivering what they promise. And I don't ever worry about that with Jay Connor. Called a Quick Start Real Estate School. It's a 4-day event, personally taught by Ron LeGrand and Jay Connor. We're the only 2 teachers there. Although I do have my acquisitionist there, that his full-time job is buying houses, but he's also one of our mentors, our one-on-one mentors. And he also does some conference calls for global and the likes. So in my case, I've got somebody else to do everything that I've been doing in the past, because I knew that if I had to do it, I wasn't going to do it. So I had to find an acquisitionist, and he's doing a great job as well. Now, this event is mostly live, but we have 2 a year that are virtual. I want you in the live event. The virtual event is just an add-on you can take until you get to the live event, or after you've been to the live event, to freshen up. The virtual event doesn't compare to the live event, not even close. In the live event, which means we're in a room somewhere. Most of them are here in Jacksonville in our office building. They have a conference room in there. The live event, we actually do your deals when you bring them in. We do not do that in the virtual event. There's so many advantages from being there live. Anybody that's been to both will tell you it's in the live event. So you're going to learn the art of wholesaling. You're going to learn how to take over the debt subject to and do owner financing, which is what I do. You can buy free and clear houses, which will all be with owner financing, or you probably won't buy them unless they need rehab. And we're going to have the scripts ready for you. We got everything you need to do business, including how to find deals on any market with little or no money. And in fact, we've got 2 or 3 that Adel and I are using now that have been working better after sifting out a lot of them. And I know, Jay, you've sifted through a lot of lead sources as well, haven't you?
Yes, I was going to say this slide right here, this benefit right here alone is worth getting to the live event. And here's why. I haven't bought a house out of the multiple listing service listed with the realtor community since before COVID came along in March 2020. So how do we find all these houses? Well, all these houses are what we call off market. They're all for sale by owner.
Yep.
And as Ron is pointing out here, we've got at least 15 different methods that we share and teach at the event as to how you find these motivated sellers that don't have their properties listed. And you know what's funny? A lot of times, these sellers and owners of houses, they don't even know they're a motivated seller until they respond to our marketing, and then they get motivated.
Yeah. And frankly, some of the people that we will be contacting don't even have the house on the market for sale until we let them know there's a buyer out here waiting for you.
That's
So
right.
you're going to learn to contact them and have them contact you. And obviously, the second one is priority. Any seller that calls you is what I call a quality seller. Any seller you have to chase is a quantity seller. By the way, you don't have to do 15 things. Okay. Sometimes I wonder if I'm just giving them too much to pick from, Jay. So we're going to tell
Right.
you what we do that's working and give you real results. And you can go home and duplicate them immediately. And everything that I do is outsourced. We don't do much of anything ourselves. Although I'm going to give you some things you can do if you don't have any kind of a budget to market with, and there's plenty of those that are free. But if you want to generate some substantial leads as fast as you want to generate them, and don't worry, we got VAs, virtual assistants, that'll actually make the call to the seller and fill out your property information sheet for you. And we got other virtual assistants that'll actually do cold calling for you to lists that you pull off of our CRM called Dreams Pro. We've got everything covered. We spent years and years and years putting it all in an easy package. You literally will leave the event set up and ready to do business, because we're going to work on that before you even get to the event. And the reason we're going to do that is because I want you to bring leads, property information sheets, and my team can call them in class and make deals for you. And the more of these you bring, the better chance you got of getting deals. So make note, you're bringing leads. It's not required, but you're going to hate yourself when you see us in there getting deals for other people because they actually took a few minutes to go generate some leads, which our virtual assistants can do for you, for crying out loud. So there's no reason for you not to bring them. I wish I could tell you that everybody does, but they don't. But some of the deals we're getting out of these things will astound you, just from houses that came to us or we went to them. Most of them, a lot of them are online, and my virtual assistants will go online and find them for you and fill out the PI sheet for you. So, God, it's never been ever been easier to do this business than it is right now, especially with AI, which does some incredible things on its own, which will also show you how we're using it when you get to this event. Now, all of the ones that we call, if we get a deal on the phone, then we talk about that the next day in class. We go over that with the person that brought the lead, tell them what I think it's going to be worth to them and what to do exactly next. And then if you get an appointment, which we do for you, we'll literally help you fill out the contract while you sit in class. Only leave a few blanks you got to fill in, maybe to still negotiate. And literally, I can't tell you how many people have left the boot camp with deals in their pocket to go home and implement. And then if you want, I've got one-on-one mentors that you can get while you're there that'll literally be by your side. And by the time we get through with this event, you're going to hear a full-time offer from me. I have never, ever offered before. Even Mr. Jay Connor don't know anything about it yet.
Oh, wow. Hey, Ron, can you go back one slide? I want to make sure everybody did not miss one point, and that is, look there to the far left where it says, we'll coach you before you arrive and prepare you to bring good prospects. So when you get registered for this event, Ron's team is going to tell you exactly what you need to do prior to the event to bring these lead sheets to the event for Ron's team to actually call the sellers for you at the event. So don't worry about not knowing what to do to bring leads to the event. Ron's team is going to tell you exactly how to do that.
And we'll get them for you if you want. Never been easier. Everything is systemized, automated, and we learn to delegate. And, most people come in just don't have an experience in life of delegating. Well, Jay and I are masters of delegation. What does your dad always say about that, Jay?
Yeah, my dad, Wallace Connor, he's going to be 92 in December. But anyway, yeah, he's known as the 3D guy, which stands for dictate, delegate, and disappear.
I love this old guy. And he's still out there right now building a subdivision, isn't he?
Yes, he is. In fact, he had a big old meeting last week with his builder, and yeah, he's building 350 houses now. I guess I want to be like him when I grow up.
Jeez. Okay. You'll never be like him, Jay.
Probably not.
Yeah, I went fishing with him one day, and I'll tell you what, him and I are so much alike. It's uncanny. All right. So we're not only going to help you generate deals, help you generate leads and deals. We're going to discuss them in class, and then if you want, we have the follow up sitting there waiting on you as well. So you're going to learn this. This is big important to me. Look, I've been through a lot of crap after 2008 when I had all these developments going on all over the country. And it didn't work out so good because there just wasn't any market anymore for everything that I was doing. And over the years, I've learned more about asset protection and entity structuring than anybody I've ever met, including attorneys. And tax reduction goes right in that. So I'm going to spend some time with you on that so that you can put yourself in a position, if things go wrong in your life, and that doesn't mean you have to do anything wrong, but you need to learn how to protect yourself against these creditors and predators who want to come and take what you got that they didn't earn. And I can't tell you how many people I've shared that story with come to me and just heartbroken because they've lost so much because of something that happened in their life. I'm going to show you how to set yourself up. So it's not about hiding anything anymore. You can't hide anything in this society today, so don't even think about doing that. But you can protect yourself, so even when they know what you got, they can't get it. And that's the important part. And the classes start here on that. And I love teaching that class because I know that almost everybody in that room needs that class. And also tax reduction. I'm going to show you 3 ways to sell a property for cash and never pay taxes on it. Never. Not deferred. Never pay taxes on it. And other ways to reduce your taxes as well. I love teaching you how to get rich, how to make money, but I also got to teach you how to protect it along the way, because the more you make, the more the predators want. And we are in such a lawsuit society nowadays. It's become the business opportunity of America. It's frivolous lawsuits. Jay and I do this. I flew my filming team to his city, actually 3 times. And we spent the day or day and a half out looking at 2 ugly houses that he was about to renovate and 2 beautiful houses that after he renovated them. And we do the whole morning is going to take you on that video bus trip. And I'm telling you right now, you're going to learn enough on that session right there to shave 10 years off of your learning curve. Even if you don't intend to rehab houses, you got to learn how to control contractors and what stuff costs. Very important to you because you're not going to get through your career as a real estate investor without getting taken advantage of by contractors. That I can promise you, and not knowing what stuff costs. I give you plenty of examples right in the manual of a quote that I got on various things when somebody else get the same quote and it was double the price. Double the price. Most contractors out there today, I mean, most rehabbers are out there, they're paying too much for the stuff they're putting in the houses. And I'm not just going to tell you about it, I'm going to prove it to you. I'm going to show you stuff right in Lowe's you're going to put in the house with a price tag right on them. And then when we go through these houses with Jay, the 2 ugly ones, we went back after they were finished, and you'll see them after they're done. You're going to be shocked at the difference what a good rehabber like Jay can do with a house, and what difference it made in not only a sales time but also a sales price. Jay, you almost always get more than what they'll appraise for, don't you?
Oh, it's been a long time since I sold a house for less than what I was actually listing it for. I always list my houses for more than my realtor recommends and what it would appraise for. And it's
Mhm.
because of the renovation process we do that
Yeah.
we're able to demand those kind of prices because, you know, when an appraiser comes along and appraises a house for the buyer that you've got under contract to sell the house to, that appraiser, so much of what they do is subjective anyway. And when they, of course, they're going to back it up with comps, but when they go through the house and see what you all are going to see at the event, and we go through this video tour, you're going to learn so much of what you would want to do to get a house ready to get you the most money.
Joe, he's going to show you. We both do estimates on the house. We don't know. I don't know what he's got down and he don't know what I'm going to say. You'd be surprised how close we get. While we're in the ugly house, sitting there in the middle of a cat urine living room or whatever. It seems like everything I went into with him stunk to high heaven, which is good. Which is good. If it don't take your breath away in the ugly house business, I don't get excited about it. But what he's going to show you is not just what he's going to fix. Then you're going to see what he fixed and what it actually cost compared to what we bid, what we estimated up front is going to cost. I'm telling you, you ain't going to get that anywhere else. It's a life-changing session right there if you want to rehab houses. And I think you should rehab at least one to start, and then you'll know whether you want to go to the next one and so forth. At the very least, you need to learn what you need to know to rehab a house because you're going to use it other ways along other things along the way, maybe even in your own residence, for example. You have to put in an air conditioning system and somebody comes up and tell you it costs $8,000. You just made a $3,000 mistake that you didn't know you were making. Um, why do we get 10% more? Not always, but always more. It's because of the condition of the house after it's renovated. That's the long and the short of it. And of course, the neighborhood helps too. But Jay, you don't have any war zones where you live, do you?
No, our area is so small, I don't even have a war zone.
Yeah. Although we all did look at the one $200,000 house that you renovated, which is, looks like 1,000 of them that I renovated.
Right.
That's the cheapest house that you had there. All right. How to build a big buyers list. This could be the most important asset in your entire business right here. A buyers list is a list of people that have contacted you that they want to buy a house, and you've gotten information from them on, where they want to buy. Let's see, you're going to need a buyers list for wholesalers. That's easy. What's the most you want to pay and how fast can you close kind of thing. That's one list. The other one's going to be on your lease option tenant buyer list. That one is very important to you because now you know what they got to put down, what they can pay per month, where they want to live, minimum bedrooms they need, and all of that. You can put as much information in this as you want, and our VIs do it for you. Now, next time you go out and get a terms deal, you just hit the buyers list, okay? So you got buyers out there waiting for homes, not your buyers are chasing you. You're not chasing them because they're sitting there waiting. Remember, these people cannot go to the bank and qualify, okay? You take a minute to look in your city and look at all the houses for sale and see how many of them are actually saying in their ad, lease purchase or lease option. because you're competing with all the realtors. The realtors are looking for qualified buyers. I want the ones that aren't qualified, but they got to have money and they got to be able to pay a good monthly payment, which is the two most important things. Not their credit, not their credit. You know, I kind of hope they have poor credit because I know they'll be sticking around a while. You learn what to fix, what it costs, hiring and firing contractors, and how to handle them after you've hired them. Getting bids, very important. Estimating market value. We teach you how to get it to the R, the after repaired value. We go live on the site to do that. And we check a couple of them from you guys in class. Rehab checklist, that's worth its weight in gold because without the checklist, I mean, would you like to have surgery with a doctor that don't have a checklist? Or would you want to get on a jet with a pilot that don't have a checklist? I wouldn't. I wouldn't. People who don't have checklists are always making mistakes, always leaving stuff out. Everything I do, I got checklist of checklists and some better exit strategies. You know, there's more to the single family house business than wholesaling or lease purchasing. Jay's in the rehabbing, cashing out business. Incidentally, we might want to point out, Jay, that you sell all your houses with a realtor, don't you? All your,
I do.
all your,
Well, those that I rehab
yeah,
and, turn them into brand new homes, I list all them.
yeah,
Obviously, when we sell on terms,
yeah. We don't.
a realtor's not involved.
Got it. And that's the point you want to make down. Terms and realtors don't go good together. Getting good deals, MLS and FSBOs don't go good together. Now, I'm going to show you how to get deals out of your MLS, but I'm going to tell you, you got to go through a lot of suspects to get a deal out of the MLS nowadays. Used to be, I bought almost everything out of the MLS, Jay. You weren't even around then. I mean, first 6 months of my business, I bought 23 houses, never one of them went out of the MLS. But that was
Wow.
then. That was then. I was young then too. I had black hair then too.
I hear you.
Jay's going to teach you this, how to get all the money you want from human beings, not from loan sharks. There's no high interest. There's no points. You name the terms. They do what you want to do or they don't deal with you at all. And they're chasing you. You're not chasing them because you're giving them a business opportunity of putting a loan on a property secured by mortgage on the property, a lot of equity in it above your loan. And I mean, I don't know what else you could do more safe than that. Because if, the borrow don't pay, the lender's going to make more money than taking the house back.
Yeah, Ron, during this session at the event, I'm going to share with everybody how to get all the money you'd want to fund your deals without ever asking for money. I
Right.
never ask for money. And I get all my deals funded without ever pitching a deal. And people ask me all the time, Jay, how you get all that money for funding and you never pitch a deal? Well, at the event, I'm actually going to teach the exact script that I say over the phone to my private lenders, and I get my deals funded 100% of the time on my terms, not theirs.
Correct. Very important lesson, worth your whole trip, actually. There's no charge for a parent, child, spouse, or significant other, partner, or employee. And don't ask me what a significant other is. I'm not sure. I always define them as somebody you're swapping spit with. And if you want to bring a second guest, $500. In other words, some people have adult children, or your employee or somebody in your business, $500. And it's all tax deductible. Now, that's pretty important, don't you think? That means that you get to write off all your expenses, travel, hotel, tuition, all of that. And Uncle Sam's going to help you pay for it. You just take a 25% savings. That's 20. I mean, let's say you're in a 25% bracket. That's 25% Uncle Sam is paying you because you don't have to send him that amount of taxes that year. So that's very important. The live events, there's only 2 left this year. One in September and one here in November. This year, in Los Angeles in November. So you West Coasters, I'm coming to you in November, but I hate to see you wait that long, to be honest, because once you register for this event, you got a whole year. You can come back as many times as you want for free. And then we got a virtual one coming up in October as well. So you might want to, I'd like to see you get to Jacksonville here because we're having one in September on 9 through 12, and it's filling up fast. So make your plans and come see me. I promise you, it'll be a trip you'll never forget. And in fact, it could very easily and likely will change your path for the rest of your life. Generational wealth. I provide proof of funds nowadays, and so does Jay. that means that if you're going to make an offer through a realtor, you got to have proof of funds. That means you got to have some kind of an account that shows enough money in it to pay cash for that house. It doesn't mean they have to come from that, but you got to have something. If you don't have something, mine is go on and fill out your own. And there's no human even involved in it. And I'm going to be a transaction coordinator. Did you know that, Jay?
So, say that again.
You know what a transaction coordinator is?
I think I've got a good guess.
Yeah. Well, what that means is I personally want to see all your closing documents before you buy or lease a house, and all your closing documents before you sell or lease that house. I'm going to find mistakes. And I'm telling you, it's been a long time since I bought a house and I didn't have to fix some mistakes that were made from the closing agents. I read these things off very quickly. I know where to look for the mistakes. And some of these mistakes are going to be very, very costly. In fact, last house we bought, the closing agent put $1,500 worth of closing cost on my side of the sheet, which should have been easy on the other side. The contract said it goes over here, and they couldn't even put it where the contract says. That's just one of many mistakes. And so I'm going to check them all for you, and I'm going to check them now before you close. Don't even think about letting them go to the seller or the buyer until I see them first, because we will be making some changes. I'm almost positive of it. And that's free. That's free of charge. And also, this one Jay's involved in. In fact, he teaches most of this on how to sell these houses our way, autopilot, delegation. So now, again, if it's a rehab, it's a realtor, which is delegation to the nth degree. I know that once Jay and the realtor set a price, and Jay always sets it higher than the realtor wants it to be at, of course, that he's out of it until they send him a contract to sign. Period. There's nothing for us to do to sell this house, and that's the way I like it, because that's going to be the most complicated sale you're ever going to make, is one that's got to go get a loan at the bank. In fact, we're going to teach you where the loans are at the bank and the things that come along with those loans nowadays. However, that's the mortgage processor's job. Once you decide you're going to delegate all this to let the realtor do their job. I always say, let other people do what they do best. Get out of the way and let them do it, so you can do what you do best. Your job is to make decisions. Your job is to use other people's effort to get these deals, and then use other people's efforts to get out of these deals. Next thing you know it, you're going to have a whole bunch of time on your hands. Then you got another problem. Golly, what am I going to do all day? I'm retired, okay, and here I am sitting in my office working. So I don't care who you are, you're never going to stop working. Don't let anybody tell you that. Besides, what happens to people who retire and don't have anything to do? They die very quickly. Got to keep our brain busy. So Jay, I don't know what else I need to say about that. These will be the easiest houses you ever sell when you're putting lease option tenant buyers in, and we know that. So you're going to learn it all. How to generate the leads, how to process the leads, how to get the leads to the closing table and get the money out of them, and how much to get out of them, and all of that stuff that comes along with this training. All right. All right, Ron, what's this going to cost me? Oh, relax. Whatever it is, it's peanuts compared to what it's worth to you. When I started teaching this, which was back in 1991, of course, there's been 50 renditions of it since, we were charging $5,995. In fact, Jay, do you remember what you paid?
I do. I paid $5,000.
That's right. I looked it up. That's almost right. You paid $49.95.
Okay, $49.95.
That was in 2009. But Ron, that's a lot of money. Oh my. Well, it is a lot of money to people that don't have it. All right. And if you don't have it, you're going to have to decide, how am I going to get it? But I'm not going to charge you $59.95, so you can relax. But wouldn't that be half of a small little wholesale deal? That's less than half of it, isn't it? And you should get that within 30, maximum 60 days. And maybe even before the event. I'm going to show you how we can do that for you in just a minute. Right? If you had to pay $6,000, you're getting a real bargain. So do you want to see that price lower? Raise your hand if you want to see that price lower. Okay, we don't see them, do we, John? No. All right, here it is. Okay. No more slimy tricks. It ain't $59.95. Now, when you purchase this, there's going to be a certificate in there that says if you buy a property within the next 90 days and send me proof. I'm going to send you a check for $1,000. And yes, we send them. They're real, and I don't mind sending them. It's actually just a shameless bribe to get you get moving and start getting some checks come in. Jay and I both know that that most important check is going to be your next one or your first one. Was for me. My first deal I got $3,000 out of, and I'm telling you, that was a lot of money to me at that time. And I made every excuse in my head that I could make the way it ain't going to go through. It ain't going to go through. They're not going to show up. They're going to change their mind. They're going to get me at the closing table, and they're going to actually beat me down. They couldn't beat me down very much with $3,000. But that was in 1982 now. I don't know what that same check would be worth today. But that first check changed my life because I kept on going. Most people just went back home and business as usual. I started buying houses. I bought 23 houses in my first 6 months without a dime of my money. And every time I bought a house, I got a check to bring home that day. Except I had to go through a mortgage broker at 18% interest, 60% loan to value ratio, and 6 months interest prepayment penalty. I think the money's high now. And it can get worse. In fact, when I started, the prime rate was 16.8%, guys, in case you don't think you can get worse. I remember sitting in a cafe one time, Jay, talking to somebody, and I said to myself, I said to him, I wonder if we're ever going to get the rates down to 10% again. I swear, I remember that like it was yesterday. Guys, it definitely can get worse. And guess what? All that time, we still bought houses. Realtors were dropping like flies. But you just remember this, maybe it'll sink in. The harder it is to buy houses, the more money you're going to make. All right. Anyway, that $3,000 changed my life because I went back to work in house business and quit my job and didn't slow down. Everybody else, I guess, went back home and business as usual. But guys, I can tell you right now, I can give you the education and we supply you most of the implementation, but the education is worthless without the implementation. And that's the problem with a lot of the training going on in this country. We're going to help you succeed. And I'm about to show you why I'm going to force you to succeed. So the next 90 days, I'm going to be your mentor partner. After the event, 180 days later, you got a free hotline person that you can call anytime during the day, 5 days a week, and get your questions answered. So I get letters like this from you. It says, yea, do I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. Yeah. Because sometimes you feel like that cat out there in the wilderness by yourself, and I don't want that to happen to you. See, that gives you a good reason to quit. I'm about to give you a good reason to really get going and catch fire and start getting some checks. Here's like this one, $125,000 just because she had somebody to talk to that day. All right, so again, you can come back as often as you want for the first year, and it's only $500 for every year thereafter that you want to return. And I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to want to come more than once because it's like drinking out of a fire hose, and we're all human. And I'm going to give you all you need to go out and start getting checks, but we all need continuing education, which is why I let you come back at absolutely no charge. Guarantee number one, you got 30 days to decide you don't want to do this and get 100% guarantee refund. You don't have to make excuses or fill out forms. If that's not good enough, you come to this live event and you spend 2 days there. If you don't think it's for you, you just let us know and walk out and get a free refund. I mean, a full refund. All right. So you want to know how much? Well, it's not $59.95. It's less than it would cost for a 10-year-old used car. It's about a quarter of your next wholesale deal or non-refundable option deposit. And my wife and I and Jay and Carol, his wife, just booked a cruise for next year. The cruise costs $16,000 per couple. And what do we get out of it? We get photographs, which we come home and put in a box with the rest of the photographs that we'll never look at again. What do you get out of spending 4 days with us? You get a lifetime education that'll stick with you for life, no matter where you go from there. This information you're only going to get from us, old geezers. Yes, I'm speaking for both of us, Jay.
I hear you.
So after it, you're going to have a lifetime education. And the investment you make in your training is going to be worth more and more and more and more, not less and less and less like your car would. It's not $49.95. It's not $39.95. Here only, it's not even $29.95, less than half price. If you're a veteran or first responder, please take $500 off immediately. And, we can check, so don't play games with us. Right off the top, now you're down to $24.95. I'm going to give you thousands of dollars worth of stuff when you register. First one is how to get rich in your IRA. That course right there is worth the entire cost of your event and then some, because it is true. That's what's going to make you wealthy faster when you learn to not pay taxes on your real estate deals. Also, if you got a kid under the age of 18, you got to hear me talk about an IRA that will put your kid through birth through college, all the money that's spent on education, you don't have to write a check for. It's a special IRA that you can do a deal in and fund it, and that'll pay for their education. You might have to do a second one if you're going to send them to Harvard or whatever, but you don't have to write checks like most of America think you have to do. Quit planning for your college education and go set up one of these things and go out and do a deal, and your plan is over. There's the money from birth to age 30 for any educational expense, food, travel, tuition, clothing, whatever. You're going to learn how to complete contracts. There's a whole course on that. I go through all the contracts that you need in business of buying and selling houses my way. And in fact, when you get that, you're going to get filled out versions and blank versions that you can photocopy and start using yourself. Yes, you should have your attorney check it over when you get a deal under contract. But I can tell you my contracts work all over the country. You're going to get my 3 cash flow systems, one on wholesaling, one on retailing, and one on terms. I've been selling those for $2,000 for years and years and years. Now, the one on wholesaling and terms is the one I'd suggest you listen to first. But if you're interested in rehabbing and retailing, you can plug that one in. The truth is, you don't have to plug any of them in, because everything you're going to need is going to be taught to you at the boot camp. But don't for a minute think that these courses are the boot camp. No, they're just the basic training to get you to the live event. But you can do deals with just the courses. Many people have. How to generate leads. 3 days of how to generate leads. 3 days. I interviewed students and I interviewed lead generating companies. 3 days. What it cost, how to get their leads, and what you have to pay for them, and so forth. That's $4,488 in free bonuses. And that's not seminar crap. That's what they actually sell for. I'm not giving you $50,000 worth of stuff. No, it really costs $4,488. You're going to get all of that for free. And here's something I just starting today. You watching, Jay?
I'm watching. This is brand new, hot off the press.
Yeah, you're the first one to hear about it. All of you. Let me help you get a full refund before you even attend the event, starting tomorrow, and get paid on top of that. I'm going to be your partner. I'm going to be your partner. And you're getting 75% of the deal, and I'm getting 25%, and I never offered that to anyone ever. Usually the other way around. I partner with my students, but I get to 75 and they get to 25 because, frankly, all they're doing is generating leads, and then we work them from there. So I want, before we split, you're going to take the full cost of your boot camp off the top, and we're going to split the rest, 75-25. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm going to be on the phone with you every day, so don't get that impression. I have full-time mentors who are on the phone with you, scheduled time every week, and all throughout the process from beginning to end, they're coaching you along the way and saving you deals. I don't think Jay told you this, but that first deal that he made 2 1/4 on, his mentor told him to take it out of the trash and let's discuss it. He almost threw it away, didn't he?
That's the truth. If I hadn't had my mentor looking at it with me, I would have missed out.
So we're going to have, if you're in this small group, we're going to have weekly Zoom calls with you on it. We're going to discuss your prospects and your progress, what you're doing wrong, and definitely you'll do stuff wrong, so get over it. The only way you're going to learn to do it right is get out there and do it. And I'm going to go through with it, and you're going to come on there and you're going to show me the leads that you got, the property information sheets, and we're going to discuss your projects on there, but everybody else is going to be listening. That's what a group call is. And you get to talk to the other group. They're going to be Zoom calls. And again, I'm going to be, anytime you get to a point to where you've about got a deal, then I'm going to have a personal conversation with you and tell you exactly what you do next. And my whole goal is to get you 1 or more checks during that 3-month period. 3 months starts now, as soon as you register. And then after you get to the boot camp, you get 6 months more with our qualified mentors. And you'll meet a couple of those at the live event as well. I'm doing this for 10 people. And frankly, you are our beta testers. I'm doing it for 10 people, see how it works out, see if I want to continue doing it. You're the very first group to even hear about this. So if you want to get in it, I'd get it back there on that phone right now because I'm taking the first 10 and we're going from there. In fact, your first meeting is only going to be a few days from now.
Well,
So you
all
can,
I can say about that is you just made this whole thing a no-brainer.
well, I did, but we need to make sure they understand that they got to do the work. Okay. We can only tell you what to do. We can't do it for you. Of course, there's very little work to do, but you need somebody on the other end of that phone because that will probably keep you in the business. Because if you don't, you're going to have the dream stealers come and taking all that excitement away from you because you don't know what to do, you don't know how to do it, or it scares you. Fear is the biggest hurdle we got to cross. One thing you're going to learn from me: you're not going to take any risk. Okay, you're not going to guarantee any debt. We're going to make money without having to put up money, and we're going to do deals without having to risk in everything we own. That's taboo on Planet Ron. So you're going to get all that. Your 4-day event, 6 months after the event, monthly conference calls for everybody, but then people in this group, weekly conference calls, group calls as we call them. And you're going to get all these bonuses as well. And it truly is $4,500 worth of bonuses. Plus, you're going to get my challenge. Trying to save money and not get professionally trained is like trying to skip high school and go to college. Absolutely true. So many people are running around out there today trying to skip the cost of getting trained. I think if you think it through, you probably agree with me. The training is cheap compared to the price of ignorance. Ignorance is going to cost you a fortune learning what's what. Tagging on to people like Jay and I will save all those years of trial and error, all that grief and all that money loss, and might even save your marriage. So I don't care what business you're in, what business you're going to start, what business you're going to buy. You need to find out what's going on behind the scenes before you make the decision to get involved. So this event is going to show you what goes on behind the scenes. And before you leave this event, you're going to be making offers to people if you bring some leads. It could be the most important event in your entire life about financial stuff. And if you are planning on buying houses, this is where you need to be because you've arrived at the top when you got here. And I know most of you watching been to all kinds of seminars and watched all kinds of videos and all of that. But yet the money just doesn't seem to be coming. And there's only a few reasons why it's not coming. And we'll dig into those and find out. That's one of the things we're going to do. I'm going to send you a questionnaire right up front.
Ron, I'll tell you, my first quick start, February 2009, was the most important event I had ever attended and have ever attended in my life in this world of buying and selling houses. Hands down.
Gosh, thank you, Jay. That's quite a comment coming from you. Yeah,
Well,
because you've been to a lot of
I've been
events.
to a lot of events, and
Yeah.
this was the game changer.
You know, one could say you've been to mine 147 times. Maybe you're just a slow learner.
That's true.
It's actually not true. The opposite is true. You're a fast learner. All right. So, Ron, I spent a lot of money with other teachers and I'm still not rich. Yeah, well, me too. I bought every course I could get to, borrowed money to go to every event that I could get to. And then I discovered the problem. It was an ugly, ugly problem. It was me. See, the best teachers in the world won't help you without implementation. Implementation is our specialty. That's what we're good at. We already got all the systems. We got all the tools you need to do your business and get you part-time, making full-time income very, very quickly. I spent thousands the last year of my own money, just gone through a lot of ways to get leads, to get down to the few that we use today that cost little money. So you don't have to do that and go through that. You can't buy experience, but you can rent it. We're for hire, aren't we, Jay?
Yes.
There's nobody better qualified to help you succeed than Jay and I and a whole force of global publishing behind us. Here's some letters that we get. We get tons of these letters. I'm starting with California because I heard everybody in California thinks it won't work here. You never heard that before, have you, Jay?
No, never heard that.
Yeah. Well, somebody better tell this Hector Padilla here because his first letter to me, I got him out here on the wall, says that he's over $80 million in real estate Now I got another letter that says he's over $100 million in real estate that he owns. Now he's in commercial, but just the same, commercial, residential, we teach it all. Put him on there first because not very many people are going to go out here and own $100 million worth of real estate a few years after they come to the training. Another Californian, $37,000 on his first wholesale deal. 37 grand. Alton Jones, he's one of our mentors. He works in Southern California and he's a rehabber and he rehabs high-end houses, usually in the seven figures, and makes six-figure profits every time that he does. He also does terms deals. He's a great teacher and he's a great guy and he loves fried chicken. If you ever meet him, take him to a fried chicken place.
Alton does love fried chicken.
He does. Here's one from Oregon, $20,000 on their first wholesale deal. Here's a $50,000 check. LA, or is that Louisiana? That's Louisiana. $50,400, very first check. We call these their shut up checks. You get one, people want to tell you how stupid you are. Well, just hold the check up, say shut up, and go away. Florida, from one end of the country to the other, $67,000 on one little wholesale deal. Well, I guess I can't call that a little one. Most rehabbers don't make that much, spending months and months and months to get it rehabbed and all the waiting and the things that can go wrong, which Jay and I are certainly going to cover when you come see us. Pennsylvania, 7,000 on his first check. I only got 3, but I'll take it. I'll take the 7 because when you get the first check, then we've got you because you're not going to convince yourself you can't do it anymore. And he's another little one, Florida, $5,500. Now that's not a lot of money to Jay and I, but it's a lot of money to him. I can tell you that. I'm sure Peter was happy to get that check. I know I'm never going to forget my first check. I carried it around in my pocket for 3 weeks before I would even spend any of it, even though it was all already spent. Boca Raton, I'm heavy on Florida this morning, $35,000. Every time I look at that, that looks like me, doesn't it? Don't you think? A little blurry, but that's probably good. Texas, now we're back in the middle, $30,000. And I believe that, oh no, that was an assignment fee. That was when he got a contract like the first junkers I showed you. He just assigned it to somebody and made 30 grand on it. Guys, we get these all the time. $23,000. I think that was probably, no, that was a terms deal. Got a $20,000 upfront deposit. Here's what our walls look like down here in Jacksonville, Florida. You're all over them. We got walls in 2 buildings with these with you on it, and stack them back there. We haven't even put up on the wall yet. All right, I'm going to do one more thing, and then we're going to get off of here and take your questions. So be thinking about your questions. One more thing. Because you take action today, right now, for the first 10, I'm going to give another $500 discount off to you, which I don't normally get. And there's a phone number. So here's what it comes down to. $29.95, which is already half price. First responders, which means, police and fire. And you know what? I'm going to throw nurses and doctors into that as well, because I probably should. Fast action discount of $500. That means you can get as low as $19.95 or as low as $24.95. Guys, that is an incredible bargain. And I'll tell you again, you got guarantee money back if you don't want it, money back if you didn't back out within 30 days, money back if you come and spend 2 days in the live event and you decide this just ain't for me. I don't want anybody's money that don't want to give it to us. So call right now and you're going to get the bonus courses and you're going to get my challenge. And we are numbering them, incidentally. We are numbering them. You guys taking these calls, make sure you put a number on these orders. First 10 only. I just said that, didn't I? All right. So you got about $8,400 worth of real value, not seminar value here, for $2,500 or so. All right. Here's where we stop and answer your questions for you. But this is something you always should remember, because I know most of you have been to seminars. Education is worthless without implementation. We are the implementers. Let us help you. Come to Papa. We do make millionaires. Won't you join us? Okay, we're going to pause now. Jay, you want to hang around for the questions, or you need to go?
No, I'm good. I'm good for another few minutes.
All right. John's going to switch over here. What are we going to do, John?
All right. Well, if you guys want to raise your hands, there's a button at the bottom that says raise hand. You can come on live with Ron.
Can you put me back up here?
Yep. And we've got a couple people with their hands raised. Let's see.
In other
I
words,
see
butt in them and say them to us, or you can put them up on the screen.
they're going to put them up on the screen. So we've got Delinda has had her hand raised. Let's see if this works. Delinda, turn on your audio and video to join us.
Am I on?
Hey, Delinda, I remember you.
Hi. How do I get on?
You go way back. How did she get on? That doesn't matter. We can hear you.
Can you hear me?
I can. What's your question?
I miss your handsome face.
Well, come see me. It's still handsome.
Hey, listen, for all the people on this call right now, I just want them to know that Ron, I am not being paid. Ron LeGrand and Jay are the real deal. I was struggling in corporate America, hated it. I was getting ready to do real estate investing, and I took a 1-day seminar for $99 from Ron LeGrand back in 2003, and it changed my life. Since that time, I've raised $53 million. I've done hundreds of flips. I've been offered TV shows. I've gotten Woman of the Year in
Great.
Business in my town. I've gotten accolades from the Historic Preservation Committee for all my renovations. I've branded whole neighborhoods so people move here just for these neighborhoods, commercial built up around it because of these neighborhoods. I've done Airbnb, lease options, you name it, but it is all because of Ron LeGrand. If I had not taken that $99 course, and it was when he first brought out the yellow letter, I would not be where I am today. I've taken almost all of the stuff he's offered before I thought I knew everything. The reason I'm on this call is because I know he's always ahead of the curve. He and Jay are very in tune with students and the economy and what's happening. I see a lot of shifts right now. So I go back to where I started, to the guru, Ron LeGrand. And I just want everyone to know that he is the real deal, and you have got to go. It will truly, truly, truly change your life, but you first have to take the action to do it.
Golly. I don't know what to say about that, Delinda, except you owe me another letter right about now. And I am very proud of you, girl, because you have really, what year did you come? Do you remember?
I first started with you in 2003. I saw you at a RIA meeting,
Mhm.
and I was taking so many trainings that I was getting more confused.
Yeah,
I was not taking action. I was simply using every excuse why I was
yeah.
frozen in fear. But whatever it was, that particular Saturday, I'll never forget it till the day I die, Ron. It was in Raleigh, off of Capitol Boulevard. It was through the RIA group,
Hmm.
and it changed my life. And I remember you telling me, you said, well, how much do you want to make? And I said, like I just want to make like 100 grand. And you said to me, well, you should raise your standards. And I was shocked. And back then you weren't so nice. You were kind of a little meanie. So I was super intimidated by you. But I remember thinking, oh my God, he is so right. Like I've got to raise my standards. And
Yeah.
I mean, I've made 250 off of a flip. Like it was nothing. I mean, I've made 100 grand on a wholesale. I made 120 on two wholesales.
No
So it's
kidding.
now, of course, not, obviously, like you said, that's not the norm. However, it can change your life. I mean, my first check, I only made 500 on a wholesale deal, but it was the greatest money I ever made in my life because I could tell corporate America to pound sand and I could control my destiny. And I swear it is all because of you, Ron LeGrand. And I'm so very grateful to you. And I cannot thank you. I'm going to cry, woo, but I cannot
Well,
thank you enough.
thank you, dear. Always good to hear from you. Maybe it's time for you to come back because you'll probably learn some new stuff in this book. I know you'll learn some new stuff. And I'll comp you just for that beautiful testimonial you just gave me. So,
Oh,
by the
imagine
way,
how good it would have been on camera.
yeah, well, I don't
Too
know
bad
what
I can't.
happened.
See, look,
Yeah,
I tell everybody, like, even someone that can't chew gum and walk at the same time can do real estate investing. I mean, I don't even
that,
know how to do this freaking Zoom, but yet Hopefully it all came through good because you deserve it. You are the real deal.
Thank you, dear.
And because of you, I have led and guided so many people in my market. I've been a leader, and my
Yeah.
competition, they watch me. They watch what I do. I'm the leader, and it's because you've made me that. So thank you so very much for changing my life, Ron.
I'm just the messenger. Boy, you did all the implementing, girl. So come back and see me again. I'd love to see you again. And
I would
in fact,
too.
if you come and see me again, you know you're going to be doing some teaching too, right, Jay?
If I could make a difference, if I could make a difference in this world like you've done, there's so
Yeah,
many people out here hurting, and it
yeah,
hurts me. How many people I see at the grocery store, and I pay for their groceries because they're putting stuff back, they're counting their pennies, and
yeah.
it's because of you I've been able to do that. So, thank you.
Thank you, girl. Thank you very much. For those of you listening, you might want to think about doing what she does. She did. I've done it a few times myself. One time I thought I was making a mistake because she actually, one lady actually chewed me out. I said, okay, pay for your own groceries, lady. I don't know what she was thinking, but anyway, I love to hear from folks like you, and I love to hear the success. And again, I appreciate an updated letter on about what you just said to us, showing where you're at today. And it's 22 years later, but you didn't take 22 years to get where you are now, did you?
No, and I'm hard-headed, right? And I'm stubborn as a mule, and there are a
I
lot of
do
things you
remember that.
taught that I did. I know, right? And I'm also ADD, ADHD, OCD. I got all the freaking criteria. And one thing you don't know about me, Ron, is I'm a foster care kid, right? So, I mean, no one in my family ever owned a home, and I've had hundreds. So, you wouldn't know it from seeing me on the street. You just think I'm this goofy, high energy, probably jacked up on cocaine or crack because I've got so much energy. But no,
Ah,
I work hard, and I'm a go-getter, and yeah, I've had ups and downs, and I've gotten so massively in debt. I was charging my Home Depot card to, buy Visa gift cards so I could live off the freaking Visa gift cards while I was in debt with these houses. But if I had listened to everything you told me, God only knows where I would be today. But I am grateful for where I am, and sky's the limit for anyone listening to this call. You just got to believe it, and
mhm.
just know that if you work it, it will work for you.
Well, I thank you very much for that. I appreciate that. And in fact, I would love for you to come see us sometime because I will put you in front of the room and let you tell them your story because I think you'll be a big inspiration to those who need your story. Thanks
I
again.
appreciate it. I appreciate it. Don't want to take up time for anybody else, but God
Okay.
bless you, Jay, because you're great too. Love you. Seen you a million times. And Ron, love you to death. And I hope to see you soon. God bless you.
Okay,
Thanks,
dear.
Linda.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ron's event to me is heads and toes above any other event. He always has good content. He has good speakers that he brings in. He doesn't let just anybody come in and speak. He always has good speakers.
John,
It's
can you hear me?
great energy. There's a lot of people motivated and a lot of people that are getting motivated. You can just tell by everyone that walks up there and speaks that they're here to help with whatever they can. So it's really exciting.
So the content is a little overwhelming at first when some of the mentors have said to us, be prepared, it's like drinking from a fire hose. They are absolutely right.
It's just chock full of so much great information, first of all. And then just to hear testimonials from others who've been doing it as well.
It's awesome. The amount of information, it borders on information overload, but it is so good. Every time you hear it, you just understand it a little better.
So the live on-stage phone calls where all the mentors got up on stage. Each mentor got about 3 chances, or whoever they can get on the phone. And it was raw, uncut, live calls. Like, anything can go.
You actually get to see fellow students work on properties that have the potential for you to purchase and make an incredible profit on.
Ron's an awesome guy. He's got the goods. It's not a flash in the pan kind of event. It's just rock solid meat and potatoes, good stuff all the way through.
He is so matter of fact. His teaching style is very to the point. There's no BS, but you learn really quickly that way.
He's the real deal. he's to the point, and he's been doing it for so long that it's like second nature to him. And if you just listen to what he does and what he says, then you'll do fine.
He seems sincere, he's honest, he's easy to understand. He has a sense of humor, so I enjoy his teaching.
Man, he changed my life, man, just off of the content that I've gotten, just listening to him. And I don't know too many people that can hold you in one place for 12 hours and you still be excited just listening to him.
He tells you exactly what to do, how it is. It's no baloney, you know? I like that.
Everybody is just super nice, super helpful. They want to make sure that you're getting what you're needing.
Anytime we have a question, they're there to answer it.
Everybody's so helpful, and all they want to do is see you succeed, which is very good, and it's obvious too.
This event gives you limitless potential. You owe it to yourself to come and learn what this process is, because it will open your eyes and change your life.
Just do it. I mean, save up the money, and if you're on the fence and this is something that you're interested in and you can see yourself doing, then you're absolutely right. You can absolutely do this business. It'll change your life. I believe it's changed mine.
If you're considering real estate at all, this event, you can get people that will walk beside you and help you become a success in this. 100%. You will do deals with these people.
You're going to make it back in one deal if you're passionate about it and this is what you want to do. To me, it's like a no-brainer, you know?
Just do it. Just do it.
Hey, can you hear me now, John?
All right, we got you, Ron. I guess your
Good,
power's
great.
back on.
I'm telling you what, Murphy sure lives here. Just as we were getting ready to end, the electricity went off. Then it came back on. I didn't have the internet, and it just came back on. So anyway, I'm here now. Is there anybody left?
Yeah, we've got a few people with their hands raised. I see
All
Ernie Pliscott. Turn on your audio and your video and talk to Ron.
Yeah.
Ernie, you there?
Arnie, you can't look any worse than I do. Let me see your face. He's raising his hand. Just talk. You should pop up.
All right, Ernie might be having problems. Come back to us, Ernie. Raise your hand again when you're ready.
All right. Read me a couple they posted.
Okay, so we've got our first question from Tom Porter. What's a reverse flip that some are talking about, and how can I do them with short sales?
You can do it with short sales after you get the bank to approve the amount of money that you're going to pay that is less than what their bank is owed. You can flip that contract just as fast as you can flip a contract on any other deal. Now, one thing about the bank, they're going to want you to close in the name that they agreed to close in. So might be a good idea for you to buy the house. I mean, on the top of your contract, you put ABC LLC as trustee. And then if you have to, you can close an ABC LLC as trustee and just make your buyer the beneficial interest. Worst case, make you the beneficial interest, then assign it to him after the fact. Got to get a few questions answered before I can tell you exactly what to do, but it depends on what the bank. Anyway, you can just sign the contract. The bank don't really care who brings the cash in as long as somebody does. And they're probably going to give you something like 30 days to close.
Okay, Gary Owens asks, have you changed your strategy with regard to how you buy and sell in the current market? If so, what changes have you made?
Well, Gary, Gary and I, Gary's been to several of my events. Gary, I always change with the market. I have to. If you don't, you're not going to be around long. One thing that's going on out there right now, that's a whole business within the business, is that there's a bunch of people out there with beautiful homes and beautiful neighborhoods, and they don't have a lot of equity in them, but they will beg you to come buy the houses. They don't ask for money. They don't want money. They just want a way out.
Most of them have actually been listed and didn't sell because there wasn't really enough equity in it to even pay the realtor. They're all in excellent condition. Most of them are 1 to 3 years old, believe it or not. And you can pick these up for nothing, and tons of them. Great market, great areas, great properties. Now, the downside is because the rates are so high, the payment on their loans is going to be right near what you can get out of it for rent and sometimes more. So you got to make sure you understand how to handle that in case you have a negative cash flow. But if I can go out there and get me a $500,000 property and get me a $40,000, $50,000 deposit on, I can set aside enough to cover the negative cash flow. That ain't a problem. And in that case, I'd probably give my buyer, at the end of the year, I'd tell my buyer, if at the end of the year, if you haven't bought it, I'm just going to raise your rent for enough to cover my underlying payment. And that'll give them motivation to buy it, but most of them still won't. So what do you care if you're breaking even on your payment? You still get that appreciation, depreciation, upfront deposited, debt paid down. You get all those goodies that I just discussed. And I'm telling you, there are dime a dozen out there. Ad'll run across about 8 of them in 1 month. Now you got to target these kind of houses. You should do a postcard mailing into low equity houses in houses above the median price, like you heard me discuss. And that's the way you're going to get them. That's the way you're going to get most of them. Some of them you're going to get automatically, but if you want them, target them. Again, they'll all lease option out. I mean, you just might not break even on them. If that don't scare you to death, there's a fortune right in there. You saw that second house I put up there. 9 years later, already made $650,000 on that house. I mean, I haven't collected it all. It was depreciation and hadn't paid off the debt yet and all of that. But that's how you get rich, man. That's how you get very, very rich. So take a look at that. That's one thing I've changed. And another thing, almost quit messing with realtors at all. Just waste of time, frankly. They want way too much for the properties. But we're always changing our marketing strategies. And we got a couple of things that are working right now, but I'm not even qualified to tell you what they are right this minute because Adel does that. I do very little in my business, as you well know, and check with him about once a week. Hope that answered that question. Did Ernie ever pop back up? Oh, there he is.
We do have Ernie back.
Hey, Ernie. What can we do?
Hey, Ron, how are you?
I'm good, man.
You're absolutely fantastic. I spoke with you earlier today.
You did.
So we're under contract with the house to close on the 1st, and there's a $29,000 repair escrow from the insurance company because of a fire that was at the house. And we weren't sure if we're going to be able to get the money. And because of your advice earlier today that don't close unless the bank makes the commitment to do it, get an attorney involved, I think we'll be confident that we can make it happen. So my hat's off to you.
I also told you don't buy the dumb thing, just flip it once you get all the pieces together and get it all done.
Right.
Done at closing, not have anything haunt you thereafter that still has to be done. And now you make money without any risk, and you're gonna make more money, avoid closing costs. And you didn't tell them you've already got a buyer for the thing. You're gonna have 85 in it, and you already got a buyer for 121, don't you?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So just put the buyer off until you get clear title, which is normal. Assign the contract.
There you
Simple,
go.
ain't it? Simple. All of us
I have
old
to ask the question.
Okay, all of us old guys want to complicate stuff, don't we, Ernie?
Exactly. I have to ask the question: How long ago did we lose Ray Rock?
God, 2005, I think, and I still miss that guy.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Yeah, he was.
So, my
Thank
hat's
you,
off to you. I'll be seeing you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Who
Hey,
next?
thanks, Ernie. Looks like we've got Bobby Polk on the line here. Bobby.
Oh, I see Bobby. Hey, Bobby.
Hey, Ernie, how you doing? Ron, how you doing? I was listening to Ernie.
I'm outstanding. How you doing?
Sounds good. I just want you to know that my family and I have been traveling to Orlando, and I have told my wife 20 times that I want to stop in Jacksonville or make trips to Jacksonville and go to your classes, and I've never done it.
Shame on you.
I probably worry about stuff I ought not worry about, money being one of them.
For
I've
sure.
always kept things pretty tight, and I'm a kind of an aggressive person, so I've already signed up.
Good
My
for you.
problem,
Thank you.
it might be
I'll tell
getting
you one
away
thing.
from work, but my plans is to be there. I'd love for my wife to be there, but she's dealing with some stuff with her mom right now who's got breast cancer, so we're trying to help her with that. But I would like for my wife to be there.
I would like
just
for her
can't
to.
wait.
And Bobby,
And one thing
you're
I'd
look,
like to tell you, I've got a house that I'm looking at right now that's beside a piece of property that I own. I own one rental home, and it's debt free.
Mhm.
I'm bringing 1250 a month in. I bought it in 2012 or 13.
Yeah.
I bought it for 17,000, no 19,000.
Them was the
2 days
days.
before the city,
Yeah.
2 days before the city condemned it, I put 30 in it, and now it's worth about 200.
There you go, man.
So
Don't you wish you had about 100 of
I've
them?
been sitting on the sidelines waiting to do something, and I'm tired of sitting here. So now the house beside it's for sale. And if there's a way maybe you could help me pull
All
a
right.
deal together and somehow or other get that, I'll have two houses sitting side by side
That's good.
on a
First of
main
all,
street going into my town.
all right, you got to contact the seller now. Get all the facts on the property information sheet. You come in September, right? Right?
That's the plan. If I can get away from my job.
Bobby, you're looking sickly to me already. I can see that right in your face. You have the right to get sick. Don't he look bad, guys? Looks terrible to me. Don't he look terrible to you, John? Huh? Okay. My
Bobby,
job,
you look good, Bobby.
my job is to put you out of a job, Bobby, and I put a lot of people out of work. So when you bring that lead and all the rest of the leads you can get together to class, and we'll work them for you, man. I'm going to have Adel in there and probably my sister making calls to these sellers. And if anybody can get a deal together, we can. But we don't know what we got to work with till you bring that PI sheet. In fact, don't even
So
wait till
let
the boot
me
camp. Yeah.
so is it something maybe we can do between now and then?
Yeah. You
Okay.
got property information sheets?
No, I don't have anything. I
All
stopped
right.
by and toured the house today. So
All right.
I just,
Listen, go on ronsgoldclub.com, sign up. It's a measly $99 a month. All my forms and agreements are on there. You go into the search box and you punch in PI sheet, and one will come right down there for you. And that's where all you're going to get your forms and agreements from going forward anyway. Not to mention a whole bunch of stuff I'm not even going to talk about right now. Tons of lessons, man. Lessons on just about everything. And I'm about to put some more on there. Which reminds me, guys, I'm working on some lessons right now. I'm going to create a whole series of lessons, and I'm taking a lot of it right out of my boot camp. Now, these are 15, 20 minutes lessons, so they're not going to, you can't call them formal training, but I'm going right through the process of buying and selling houses and a lot of other things. I don't even know how many of them we're going to have before it's over. We're going to air a couple of them a week. They're free. Just put that on your note, and we'll get you an email and tell you how to sign up and when they're going to start. And frankly, I'm going to tape 2 or 3 of them on Tuesday. They're going to be that quick. All right, now
and that's they go where and sign up exactly for what?
ronsgoldclub.com. That's our membership site.
Yeah.
You're gonna want that anyway if you're going to come into Planet Ron. You too, Bobby. Just take a look at it. You'll see it's the best deal in real estate today. And you want to get your property information sheets from that. You know what? I think I can give you another URL. Go to ronlegrand.com/contracts.
Ron, it's PI sheet. RonLegrand.com
On the Go Club.
/PI sheet is got
Also
it
go
up
to
there as well.
ronlegrand.com/contracts. And I think you'll find all the contracts on there you're going to need to do deals, which I go over in the boot camp. And they're also in the boot camp manual. By the way, you guys want to see what the boot camp manual looks like? That's it. It's over 300 pages. So we give you that when you check into class. And honestly, you're not going to ever want to let this leave your sight. It's got stuff in it you won't get anywhere else on the planet. Actually, some cool clauses that I created to put in contracts that save you a ton of money. Same thing goes for you now, Ernie. Make sure you bring plenty of leads to class. Plenty of them, all you can. Now, RVAs will get some for you if you want them too. That's ronsva.com. And you decide how long you want to hire them for. They're relatively cheap. You're going to do it anyway. If you're going to get in this business, you got to have your outsourcing done so you don't have to do hardly anything but set it up and forget it. That's the way we operate around here. In case all of you weren't watching, I'm telling you, all the work is done for us. Even Adel, my acquisitionist, he don't spend 10 hours a week running our business. And I don't believe he spends that, frankly, but he says he does because he got a lot of other things going on. All right, John, I'm talking. You got to shut me up here. Who's next?
All right. All right, thank you, Bobby. So reminder,
Bobby?
if you guys want to come on live now, just hit that button that says raise hand at the bottom, and I'll promote you to a panelist, and you can come on live and share your screen and share your webcam.
All right.
We got a couple more questions typed in the Q&A.
Okay.
Michael Park asks, where do you find these buyers that don't qualify for a bank loan?
Well, you do marketing. In fact, we spend a good part of the last day doing that. But honestly, I know it's hard for you to understand and believe going in, but just think about why they're calling you. They want to own a home, the American dream of home ownership. They know they can't qualify at the bank. And right in your ad, it says lease purchase, no qualifying or no bank qualifying. You got to know that's going to trigger a bunch of calls. All right. Not all of them going to qualify because they got to have money. They got to have thousands, not hundreds, or we're not interested. And that's why I want you to work on houses that are above the median. I mean, you're going to have a hell of a lot easier time getting 40 grand out of a $400,000 house than you are 20 grand out of a $200,000 house. And if you think about it, it's just common sense. The higher price house they're looking for, the more money they got, the more money they can raise, and the more a bigger payment they can make per month. And the easier they are to get a bigger down payment out of it, especially when you got two working family members. So you're really not going to know until you get out there and you actually get in the arena and you watch what happens when you run these kind of ads and let people know they don't have to qualify to get in your house. The day I meet them, which is not going to happen until after they're pre-screened, I know how much money they got to put down, how much they can pay per month, and we're never going to have a meeting. And they don't get the key to the house. I mean, they don't get the lockbox code until I know that they have a chance of becoming a tenant buyer. So it's all screened out before we even talk to them. Then we give them the key, and then they follow up. And trust me, when you got a nice house, which they're all going to be, because I told you pretty houses and pretty neighborhoods, which you're putting a lease option tenant buyer in, they ain't going to have more than one or two or three people in there, and you're going to have your tenant buyer. It's a whole different world. And people who actually own some of these low income houses, that's going to be difficult for them to make that mind switch. It was for me, because they're dealing with all the low income people. That's where all the problems are when you're putting them in your house. That's why I don't put houses in the low income houses anymore. I mean, people, God, I've had hundreds of them. I'm done with renting out low income houses where they'd be lucky to pay up, bring up a deposit as much as the first month's rent. I want to deal with people who want to buy, at least they think they want to buy. And that means I'm going to get money out of them. Plus, they're going to do their own repairs. Don't forget that part. All right. I think I got that one. What's next?
Okay, we've got Michael Conley on the line.
Michael Conley.
unmute
I
yourself.
remember him from way back.
Unmute Michael and talk to Ron.
You can take my picture off of there so we have more people to place to put people on here, John.
Michael, were you there?
Apparently not, huh? Well, what was
All
his
right, well,
question
we
in
got-
case he just don't have his audio on?
So you guys, if you want to talk to Ron live in person, hit that raise hand button at the bottom, and I'm gonna hit a button that says promote you to panelists. You'll have to say okay to that, and then you can come on with your webcam and talk to Ron. All right, so Michael, I guess, is having technical difficulties. I got a question here from William Sr. Once you receive down payment and the lessee buys the house, is the down payment used to cover their closing costs?
No. I get the down payment up front. If they're ever going to buy the house, it could be years later. And when that happens, they're going to cover most, if not all, of the closing costs. It's just the way you write up the lease purchase agreement to them. So no, I don't pay all their closing costs. In fact, I put all the expensive stuff on them. Geez, they got years to raise the money, how long they're going to be before they buy. And there's, if they go on and get a VA loan, they don't have any closing costs. Or if they go get a USDA loan, they don't have any closing costs. In fact, the USDA will finance the 100% plus closing costs. And, I can tell them that going in, but I got plenty of time to come up with a closing cost. And, the seller can always contribute to the closing costs as well, but lease option tenant buyers, I don't see the need. See, here's something going to be hard for you to internalize. Probably shouldn't say this on the internet, but I don't really want them to buy. Therefore, I'm not going to break my neck to do everything, discount the price and pay the closing costs and do all that crap you got to do when you want to sell these lower priced houses through FHA. I don't need to do that. So, uh, everything is clear up front because the truth is I'd rather they didn't buy. Now, don't get me wrong, I ain't never going to stop anybody from buying. They go out here and they get qualified and they want to buy. I'm happy for them and proud of them for doing it. But I'm just telling you, that's minority, not the majority. We're dealing with human beings here, and by and large, they're lazy. Besides, when they live in a house a couple, 3 years, their itch is scratched and they want to go somewhere else, or else they just, like I said earlier, don't like the neighborhood, don't like the house, or just can't afford the payment or whatever. Get a divorce, get sick, have to move out of town, and all those other reasons. Got it, Mike? I see
I got Michael back. Michael, unmute yourself.
Sorry for the echo.
Okay. I think I answered it. What's next, John?
Unmute.
Michael, you're on. There you go.
I didn't.
Michael, you're on here twice, so that's why we're getting an echo.
Michael, your sound's screwed up, so you might as well
You
turn
gotta
it off.
close one of those two out.
Yeah. 1 second. Let me see if I can fix it lower.
All right, let's try Debbie McGee. We'll come back to you, Michael, in just a minute.
Okay.
Debbie, unmute yourself.
Yes. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Debbie.
Yes. How you doing? I've been looking into tax deeds for a while now, but I cannot find someone that can hold my hand and walk me through how to purchase one. I want to purchase one in Bibb County, Georgia. Is there any way you or one of your representatives can hold my hand and walk me through purchasing one before the year is
Debbie,
out?
we got terrible sound here. You're reverberating, and I can't understand you. John, can we do anything about that on our end? John? Geez, now we
Debbie,
lost
try
John.
again.
All right.
Yes. I was saying I've been looking into purchasing a tax deed in Bibb County, Macon, Georgia, for a while. I
Right.
cannot find anyone that can hold my hand and walk me through it. I wanted to know, can Ron or one of your representatives hold my hand and walk me through purchasing one before the year is out?
You know what? If you're going to buy tax deeds, I would suggest you get the system by Ted Thomas. He's the best I've ever seen. He's got a great course. He can tell you anything you want to know about every single state. And frankly, Georgia is one of the best ones to buy tax deeds in, tax certificates in, because man, they pay up to 50% return if they haven't redeemed after the first year. And if you want to buy a tax certificate is what you want to buy, not a tax deed. Tax deed simply means you buy that at the sale of the tax certificate. Get Ted Thomas's course, please, before you go buying tax deeds, because tax certificates, because you got a little homework to do before you do that as well. A lot of people buy tax certificates on worthless property because they don't know how to even check it out.
Is it a book or a course? What do you purchase?
It's a whole course.
Where?
Yeah, shoot. A lot of people are making money doing what he's talking about, assuming you've got a little money. And most people don't really realize how little money you need to go buy tax certificates.
Yeah.
But you're going
So
to
what do you purchase?
Yeah, go ahead.
Where do you purchase?
You purchase it when they put it on sale. They
Where?
put hundreds of them on sale at a time.
Where?
Every city, and every county in the country.
Bookstore, online?
No, Ted Thomas. Go to tedthomas.com. I don't know. I'm sure that'll get you to him.
Oh, okay.
He and I are old friends.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you, Debbie. I think we've got Michael. I think we got Michael back. Michael, you want to try again? All right, we can't hear Michael. Stacy, unmute and share your webcam, and let's talk to Ron.
John, can you take that big old come to Papa off of there so we can see the people?
Sure.
I've seen enough of me.
Hi, can you hear me?
Can.
Hey,
Go for it.
Ron.
Hey.
Great to see you.
Hey, that's better.
Hey, I had a question. I'm a little rusty now. I went to the Quick Start years ago, and so I'm finally getting back into it. I just retired from a corporate job, so I took the DRP, so I'm ready to jump back in full circle.
You fired yourself, huh?
Yes. And so I have this property. I made some money off the lease option, and that's really all I knew how to do. I did subject to in the past, and I made some money off of it, but it was only a couple of houses. So I never had the time to really, really fully put into put the work in. So now I do, and I do have a property that I've had for like 10 years now. So this owner does want me to cash her. She wants me to refinance it in my name.
No.
So,
no.
okay.
No. No way, no how, no reason, no exceptions.
Okay.
No.
So what do I do? Because my contract does end in about 2 years.
2 years? What are you worried about it 2 years from now?
So she's wanting me to do like another contract saying that I'm going to close in a year. And
Stacey,
I'm like,
I don't care what she wants you to do. She can't do anything until her term is up. All right.
Okay.
And so if you're really worried about that, and I certainly wouldn't worry about it, you need to put a tenant buyer in there that has a chance for qualifying, and they all do during that period of time, and go ahead and get it cashed out just because you would like to, not because you have to. Just for the record, what happens when her term is up and you can't pay her? What happens? What are her two choices?
She's never going to get this house back. I only owe $130,000. So there's no way in heck I'm going to give it back.
What's it worth?
$330,000.
Okay, well then, worst case, you can go get a private loan on her to pay her at the end of 2 years, but there is no reason to do it right now. In fact, the interest rates are going to be a lot lower in 2 years.
Right.
I mean, I don't know they are for private lenders, but I wouldn't worry about it right now. But again, put somebody in there that has a chance of qualifying. But you are not going to go get a loan on this house. That you have to personally guarantee.
I was stuck right there because I couldn't remember. And I have your courses, so I will go back and review all of the things. But I remember you did say never a guaranteed debt. So that kept sticking in my head.
Was the house free and clear when you bought it?
No, I've had it for like 10 years.
What does she owe?
130. That's what the balance is now.
Wait a minute. That's what she owes, or is that what you owe her?
No, that's what. So, well, when I bought it basically with what the house, with what the mortgage was on the house. So it was a pre-foreclosure. So she owed, I think, probably 200 something back then. I forget what it was.
Well, good. You don't know what she owes now?
Yeah, it's 130.
That's what she owes. Okay.
Yeah, sent me the payoff letter.
Scratch out. I was going to tell you to go discount her way, way, way down, then go get a private loan to pay her off.
No, I'm getting a rock bottom price. So
yeah, I got it. All right. Well, just wait it out. There ain't no rush on it.
All right. Cool. Thank you so much, Ron.
You're welcome. Who next, John?
All right. So again, if you guys, Michael, if you're there, just speak up. I haven't heard you yet, so I don't know if there's a problem with the computer. If you guys want to join, hit the raise hand button and we'll bring you on. I have a lot of questions still left from people who typed in questions.
All right. Well,
I got a video problem here.
It's clear that he ain't going to get.
Ron, I'm here.
Hey,
how you doing?
I'm good. You're the same Michael Conley. It goes back to the way early days in South Florida, aren't you?
Yeah, with the bus with all the fleas on it.
Yeah, that's right.
I think that was this echo.
I think that was the third boot camp I did in Fort Lauderdale, and we went in the house, and everyone would come out and start picking the fleas off their legs. I remember that.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get a deal done so I can get a letter on your wall.
Have you got a question tonight?
I do. 4.5 hours ago, I made a contract with a gentleman. He's 90 years old. Nice neighborhood. House needs a little work. Reverse mortgage, and just 10 days ago, I think a private person filed a foreclosure on it for some money that's owed.
Mike, have you got another instrument on at the same time here?
Yeah, my cell phone and desktop computer.
Well, you can't have them both on at the same time on sound.
Okay.
Yeah, turn one of those off, Mike. We're getting a lot of echo here.
Let me turn off the house computer. Give me one
Yeah.
second.
All I can see is your desk anyway, so you can talk on the phone if you want.
Okay.
I'm glad to hear you've been around so long. You're still doing deals.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not giving up, Ron. Please don't give up on me.
I did that 20 years ago, Mike.
I know that. I'm still trying to be a master.
And here you are back.
Okay,
Okay.
here I am. Let's see if I can make this work.
All right.
That sounds good, Mike.
Give me a
We're
second.
good.
Try it.
Not sure if you can hear me.
We
By the
hear you,
way,
Mike.
I want to tell Stacy a while ago, Stacy, you need to get back to the boot camp if you're going to get going now. You only going to cost you $500.
I'm working on it.
I'm talking to Stacy right now, Mike. You hear
Yeah,
me?
I'm definitely coming back.
Where do you live?
I'm in Maryland, and I'm
Okay.
Southern Maryland.
Get down here in Jacksonville. Get down here in Jacksonville this coming month now.
Give me a second.
Because you ain't going to get a chance to come down here again until next year.
Oh, I'm coming. I have boots on the ground right now. I'm
What?
definitely gonna show up. Is the link in the chat?
Well, we just gave it to you. Just call the number tonight to get that deal.
Okay.
800-567-6128.
Okay.
Cool. I think Ron, can you hear me?
What?
I had one additional question that I don't think I got the answer to.
All right, Mike, can you hold on just a minute here and I'll take her question.
So when I find the buyer,
Yeah.
am I doing a double closing at the end when I find that tenant when my tenant buyer is ready to buy?
You're not going to double close, but that's a little more complicated than we probably ought to get into tonight. Get back to the boot camp. I'll guarantee you I'll teach you that.
Okay, cool.
Not that complicated.
All right, I got time.
All right, Michael.
All right, thanks.
You there now, Michael? Sorry. Jeez, I lose him again, John. You see his picture. I
think we lost him. Let's go
turned
back
off the cell phone.
to the questions that they typed in the Q&A.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mike Flannery says, I live in Minnesota, and the county where I'm looking to do business requires the property owner, the investor, to register the property as a rental. Have you encountered something like this before?
Oh, I've heard of it.
How did you handle it?
I've heard of it in a couple of places, but before you even worry about it, you need to check out that law and make sure that it hasn't been amplified 10 times over. And then you need to learn what's the definition of a rental. Does a lease option mean it's a rental? They have the option to buy it. And then if you have to register it, you have to register it. I mean, that's the worst case. Who cares? But I wouldn't believe what everybody tells you. Even when an attorney tells you something's illegal, the first thing you do is say, can you guide me to the statute there where I can read that, please? A lot of times there ain't no statute. And when you go there, the first thing you go to is the exceptions, and that pretty much eliminates your issues.
Okay, Heather asks, how can I qualify to take over these people's mortgages before I have a tenant buyer?
Heather, girl, and I hear a question like that. I mean, you used one lousy word in there that I am absolutely against, and I hope you never use, and that's the word qualify. We don't qualify for loans. We don't ask the bank's permission to do anything, nor do we need it. We take over the debt. We don't personally guarantee any debt. The minute you qualify, you're personally guaranteeing the debt and doing exactly the opposite of what people do on Planet Ron. No risk, Heather. That's what you got to learn. That's what all of you got to learn. And believe me, ain't nobody better teach you that than the old guy here. I want everything you to do would be with little or no risk. And the biggest thing you can do is wrong is go qualify or go originate a new loan. Now, if you come back here and give me some statistics, some actual numbers, I might be able to answer that better. But you don't have to qualify for anything. You buy the house, you take over the debt. When you lease purchase it, you sell it to them. It's that simple. When they get ready to buy, that is.
Oh, we've got a question from Thurston Davis. When you lease option a house, do you create an LLC to run it?
You're going to create an LLC to do business and probably more than one, which is one thing I like teaching you in class. When you buy, you're going to buy you're going to buy in a land trust, which is free, but you're going to, land trust is going to be owned by an LLC, which is part of your asset protection plan. And then we're going to discuss, well, how you're going to own the LLC. Remember, I told you earlier, I'm going to show you how to, even when they know what you got and they want to come after you, they ain't going to get a damn thing from you. Now, I don't care what state you live in, if you follow my plan. That's, you're going to need an LLC, period. You're going to need a couple of them, actually.
Oh, there we go.
All right, Mike, one more shot. That's it.
Okay. I don't know how good you can see my picture here.
I can't see it at all. Don't worry about it. Just ask me the question.
Okay. Well, I had about 4.5 hours ago, got a deal from a guy that was wanting to sell his house. He's got a reverse mortgage, 90 years old. House needs just a little bit of work. And I got his mortgage statement. I put it on the chat there.
Mike, what are you paying for the house?
Well, the contract is signed and I put $10, but I did forget to give him the $10. He signed it.
Well, then you don't have a contract till you do. Now, what are you paying for the house?
Well, I guess nothing because I just wrote down $10 and I'll take your house. And
what does he owe on the house, Mike?
The mortgage statement says here, I mean, the reverse mortgage says 199,800. Then it says current principal limit 267,500.
All right, what is it ARV?
425,000 all day
All right.
long.
Now, he's willing to sell it to you for what he owes?
Yes.
All right. Then you go ahead and put it under contract and you buy it in a land trust. And then on that one, Mike, you need to list it with a realtor and cash out of it. Especially when the guy's 90 years old. Because if he dies or they find out he sold it, then that's they probably will call that loan due.
Yes.
All right. Sitting there making no payments on it. I can't hardly blame him. Can you?
Yeah,
now, now listen to me. Let me talk. You listen.
Okay.
To eliminate any risk, you can always lease purchase the property from him, and then they can't call the loan due as long as he's in it. Well, they can't as long as he's in it anyway, but no title is going to transfer, and you can sell it by having the right to lease it with an option to buy. You can sell it without having to actually own it.
Okay.
You're going to have to get his permission to list it, but what does he care? He's going to get his loan paid off. I don't even think he cares about that at the age 90. But he's got nothing to lose by letting you list it. And it sounds like you got a lot of room there, and you could easily pick up a 6-figure check on this sucker, man, just based on what you know.
I'm trying. I want to do this so I can pay for the masters if I can make this work, but I'm a little green on trying to get this, pulling this together.
You need another 20 years before you get it, Mike.
Yeah, I know.
Just kidding, Mike. 10 probably would have worked. All right, listen, you're in Florida. Get your butt back up here in Jacksonville while you got a chance. $500 measly.
Okay.
Call them tonight. Tonight, Mike.
Get up
Call them
where?
tonight.
Oh, call them tonight?
Yeah, and get registered. Look, we got a meeting room up here. It only holds 45 people in there, and we're getting close. So you better get registered now. Don't
All
put
right.
it off.
Well, I'm at the Hard Rock, and they have they're very strict. If I was to leave, I would be fired, and I'm trying to avoid that right now. I'm going to be trying to get some time off so I can make this happen. I'm not sure if I'm going to make the one in September, but I'm going to do my best.
Also got a virtual in October.
In October?
Yeah, but they ain't nowhere near as good as we don't do deals in there. We don't call sellers and a whole lot of other things. And the live is 10 times better than the commercial.
Yes.
Virtual. Yeah. Do what you can, Mike. Just do what you can.
Okay. I made them sign 2 contracts just to make, in case I screwed up on one.
That you probably did, but that don't matter as long as you got it under contract. But I'd go back and do a lease purchase and just tell him why. You don't want to take a chance on the bank calling that reverse mortgage due.
If you could see it, I got it right here in front of the
I
camera.
can't see it. I cannot see it, Mike. It's blurry.
Okay, that's him. He signed everything.
Okay. Do
Signed
you
the
really
bottom.
really want to stop what we're doing now and read your contract?
Yeah. Okay. No.
All right.
All right.
Let's get going here. I mean, I didn't plan on keeping you guys up till midnight tonight.
No. Should I call the lender, his reverse mortgage?
No, you got no reason to call a lender. You do that, you're creating your own problems. Jeez.
Okay.
You better get
Okay.
back and see me, man.
Okay. What about the guy doing the foreclosing?
Oh, they filed on it already?
Well, not the reverse mortgage, a private person. It just says for unlimited specific performances of contract by a company called Unlimited Acquisitions LLC, and they filed August 11th.
I don't know what that means. You need to get a hold of that contract from the seller. That might be an investor trying to protect his interest. And if somebody else has got a contract to buy it, then you're going to have to deal with that, man. And they're ahead of you. They might beat you out. So
I see.
But I'll tell you one thing. If you get the deed from the guy, there ain't a whole lot they can do but sue him and you, and that ain't likely. So until you get a hold of that, I don't know where to tell you to go.
Okay, being I have the contract already signed by him, what do you think my next move should be?
Get that information on that, whatever that thing is you just said.
That foreclosure?
And then read it, and then you'll know if they can even enforce it or not if you get the property, if you get the deed.
Okay. In getting the deed, what steps would I need to take?
I can't sit here tonight in front of all these people taking questions and guide you through this whole deal, man.
Okay.
Get your ass back in the boot camp, and I'll do it for you in there.
All right, Ron.
Okay.
I'll see what I can do with this.
All right.
Thank you.
Go ahead, John.
And I'll see you soon.
Oh, sorry, Ron. Unmute yourself.
What? Oh, what happened? I am unmuted. I'm surprised you didn't put the
So
grouch
we got,
monitor up on that one, John.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, we've got William's got a question. If you've already been to a quick start class, but you are paying $500 for attending the class again, do you get all of the bonuses?
Yes, and then they only paying the 500 if you're not within your first year. First year it's free, and yes, you get all the bonuses. But if you've already attended, you probably got most of them. I don't know. It depends on how long ago you attended.
Okay, Bethany asks, what is the price for the event?
Bethany, it's $29.95 minus 500 if you're a veteran or a first responder. And that was the price, wasn't it, John? I don't remember adding anything else in there.
And, call that number 800-567-6128.
And by the way, that's if you're paying in full. We do finance it for you as well. It costs you a little bit more, but we finance it. We don't check your credit. Just get on the phone and talk to the people about it, and they'll let you know all the details.
All right, so that's similar to this question from Travis. He says, as low as $19.95?
Geez, I don't remember it being as low as $19.95. It's 20. I don't know. Get on the phone. This deal right here, I just knocked down about lower than I've ever done in my life, and I don't remember all the darn details on it. The guys on the phone do, though. They got it right in front of them.
And Bobby asked, 500 first responder discount and 500 quick sign up discount. Is that correct?
John, were you watching it when we closed on it? I just don't know. Get on the phone and ask them. I don't know. Next.
Hey, Ron, this is Bobby. I do have a quick question for you. If I get that information you told me to get on that property information sheet,
yeah,
reach out to y'all and give you a copy of it or whatever. How do I do that?
Well, if you signed up for the boot camp, you can send it to me, Bobby. You got my phone number. So just text me the information or text me the PI sheet. I'll look at it. I'll get back to you.
10-4, I did sign up.
All right, good. Yeah, I want to get you through that thing. I don't want you to screw it up because you're about to make a big mess.
Okay, Sheila asks, I cannot travel right now. I'm a caretaker for my husband. I will
Mhm.
have to take the virtual training. Can my
Okay.
son take the virtual training with me?
Yes,
Is the
free.
price for the virtual training the same as the live training?
Yes, it's all part. Get them both, and your son can come to the live with you free as well when you come. And she didn't tell me where she lives. Guys, don't forget we're doing one in LA in November.
Hey, Jeffrey said, can you discuss more why you don't like subject to deals? I was interested to hear more of your thoughts on this. He's from
Okay.
Tallahassee.
I don't like them because they're not good for the seller, and nobody ever tells them that. Again, the loan stays in their name. So if they want to go qualify for another loan, they're likely not going to be able to because their debt ratio is going to be out of whack because they got no income to show wash out their debt. Now, when I buy it on a wraparound mortgage, they got proof recorded on public record that I'm making their payment, that I'm making, it says that I'm sending them the money to the same amount as the underlying payment. So their debt ratio is not an issue. And the next thing is, if I were to not make those payments, I'm going to make them, but I can't tell you every investor out there is going to make them. The seller's got no way to foreclose on the property. They can't protect their own interest. I don't owe the seller anything on a subject to. I just agree to take over their debt, not qualify for it, just take over their debt. The loan will never be in my name, and I'm never going to be liable for it. Nothing's ever going to show in my credit report or my financial statement because it's non-recourse debt, not personally guaranteed debt. So that's the only thing I don't like about it. I can make you a prediction within the next 2, 3 years, they're probably going to outlaw subject to just for that reason right there. It's not in the best interest of the general consumer. And it all hinges on the morality of the person buying the property, and that scares me. I buy mine on a wraparound mortgage. There's 2 cases where I don't mind taking them subject to. One, if the kids have inherited the house, I can't hurt them. There's no loan in their name. And if the seller's in just in such pathetic shape, I know he ain't never going to go qualify for a loan again. If they don't care, I don't care.
Okay,
Next.
so we are, sorry.
Said next.
Okay, so we are getting ready to close up here. If anybody else wants to talk to Ron live, raise your hand, hit the raise hand button. We'll get you on here. We still got a few more written questions. Judy says, as a pass quick start graduate, what is the email address that I can send in my possible closing documents in the near future for Ron to review as a transaction coordinator?
Depends on how far past means. I don't know what that means. You got to come back for a refresher for me to do it unless you've been here in the last couple of years. Because I just actually started offering that about a year ago. It's called being a transaction coordinator. So, it's been 5 years. You got to come back and see me again, and then you have that privilege. Plus, you get proof of funds if you ever want to buy one through the MLS, which ain't likely right now. That's the only time you need proof of funds. Don't have proof of funds in the world of FSBOs.
Okay, VP says, how do you identify your target market?
I identified them based on I'm telling you, you're not going to do any advertising where you don't get both ugly houses and pretty houses. But I can skew those results by targeting. If I want to buy junkers to wholesale, not buy them, put them under contract, I'm going to target the low-end houses. I'm going to mail it to them. I'm going to do everything in my whole long list to them. And if I want to buy like those deals where I said were low equity, I'm going to target the deal. Now we got a system called Dreams Pro AI where we can pull mailing lists based on 17 different pain points of sellers. So they're pretty easy to target nowadays. Pick where you want to target them. And then there's one right on there. It says low equity sellers. Pick the price range that you want to work in, the area, and any other criteria that you might have, like minimum square footage. And that's who you contact. And what you do is you take a great big old list and narrow it down by only picking the people that fit that criteria. Same with foreclosures. You can pull out a list of people in pre-foreclosure. I mean, there's 17 different of those items. People in probate. That's on your Dreams Pro AI system. It is also your CRM that runs your whole business for you. And then there's a whole list of things that it does for you as well. You can go check that out, all of you, on dreamspro.ai, and you'll see all the beautiful things that it does. It just makes our business so easy today. It even estimates the repairs on a house for you. That's where you're going to get your comps. If you want to do mailing, that's who's going to do the mailing for you. It pulls your list. It does your skip tracing for you, and on and on and on and on. And that makes it a lot easier today than what it used to be. Dreamspro.ai.com. Just go see what it's all about, and then you can make your decision after that.
Jeffrey says, I want to buy a house for myself using terms. How can I do this?
The same way you buy them when you're not going to move into it. You go out there and get houses like I just discussed is the easy thing, the ones with low equity in them. And those payments aren't so high as you wouldn't want to make them. I mean, as an owner occupant, just get the under contract, close it, and move into it. That's what you do. Or you can lease option it and move into it. Either way, you give up that front end deposit to get out of the tenant buyer, but you get a beautiful home. You didn't have to go to the bank, qualify and put up a big old down payment. That's exactly the way you should buy your next residence. Go where you want to live, target that area till somebody's ready to give you a house for little or nothing. You remember that $525,000 house I showed you very first in the presentation tonight, if you can remember back that far? Zero down. $100,000 worth of equity in it. I closed on it. All I had to do is move into it, and you own the home, and nothing on your credit report. Period. And you own it, just the same as if you paid cash for it.
All right, Ron, I got 3 more questions unless somebody
That's
else
it.
wants to
I'll
raise their
take those
hand.
three, and we're quitting tonight. By the
All
way,
right.
wait a minute. If I don't get you tonight, you can go to ask@ronlegrand.com, submit your question, and I'll get it answered for you. Ask, A-S-K, at ronlegrand.com. Spell Legrand right if you would, please. It's Legrand. No E on the end, no L-A. L-E. Okay?
Okay, so Tom Porter says, so do we find the buyer in the time frame between getting it under contract and the closing?
Yes,
so the
if you're
buyer's
wholesale.
down payment pays my payment to the seller, correct?
No, when you're buying terms deals now, you usually just go close on them. That's what I prefer you to do, because you can have a hard time showing the house when you don't own it and other complications. When you got a terms deal, you want to close on it as fast as you can, because it's going to require little or no money, or you're not going to close on it. So get it closed, protect the deal. Until you get that deed, you don't know you got a deal. You could lose it at any time. Once you get the deed, you got whatever time you need. And when I buy a terms deal, I always get at least 2 and usually 3 months before my first payment is due. One clause that I created that's in your manual. Always. Give me plenty of time to find a tenant buyer. On both of those houses I showed you, in fact.
All right, Stacy says, I've had a lease option property for 10 years now.
Yeah.
The owner wants me to refinance the house in my name now.
Yeah,
I owe
That was me. Yeah.
We already answered it.
Okay. Debbie says, if you want to purchase a property in another city or state, is there a website where you can look in the area before purchasing? I don't want to buy in a bad neighborhood or
Yeah,
a
it's called
high crime area.
Called dreamsproai.com. No, I'm sorry, dreamspro.ai. And that gives you all the information about any area you want, about the houses itself. You go up there and look up all the facts on the house, including what's owed on the thing. Or at least I think what's owed, certainly the original mortgage amount. And it's just one of the things that's on there. And I got a lot of people buying out of the state right now from where they live. And if I'm buying a junker, I don't even need anybody to go look at it. But if I'm buying a terms house, I want somebody to go look at it before I close on it. Because when we do junkers, in fact, Jay and I are in a group with people that do 250 wholesale deals a year. Only way they're going to do that is do it in several different states. They just buy them online, and they don't buy anything. They put them under contract online, they put them back online and flip them and collect the difference, no matter what state it's in. Now, there are 2 or 3 states that you cannot assign a contract in. One of them's Illinois, one of them Pennsylvania, and there's another 1 or 2 in there somewhere. But that still don't mean you can't wholesale houses. You just got to get around it, and I'm not going to go into that right now. And unless you have a license, that is. If you have a license, you can still assign them. I wonder who got that rule passed.
We got one last question.
All right, hit it.
How do you do lease option in Texas?
You do them by understanding what the rules and closing with an attorney who understands the rules. And if you don't, you're going to get your butt in trouble. In Texas, you've only got 6 months that you can option the house. And if you violate that rule and they want to come after you, they can put you back in the position they were when they met you. That means you'll give them all of the money back, and you don't want that to happen. So lease options you can still do, and that doesn't mean they have to move out in 6 months either. That just means their option expires in 6 months, and that still doesn't even mean you can't sell it to them later. It just means their option technically expires in 6 months. Don't even think about doing one of these unless you find a closing attorney who's willing to do lease option closings. A lot of them are not, because they know you can get in trouble if you violate the rules out there. And then, of course, I'll tell you, most people in Texas are buying with owner financing and selling with owner financing. I mean, that's okay, but I give up the depreciation. I give up full control of the property. I give up the appreciation, and I just rather own the property. But you got to learn to do it right. Do it right and get legal help on that. And that's not going to be a cheap closing either. But I'm told that when you're putting a lease option tenant buyer in the house, I'm told that they make the tenant buyer pay the fees, which I do here as well. So anyway, you just have to adapt to Texas rules, or don't, and sell them on contract for deed. One thing about Texas is it's the fastest foreclosure state in the country. If you file foreclosure by the second Tuesday, you can have the house back on the first Tuesday of the following month. It is actually faster to get it back foreclosing than it is evicting in Texas. So, that makes a case for selling with owner financing, I guess.
We got one last minute question. This will be
All
our
right.
last one.
All right.
So the lease agreements and option lease has to be separate documents.
If I'm putting a tenant buyer in the house, I have a lease agreement and I do have a separate option agreement. Now, I don't remember ever having to evict a tenant buyer. They're going to lose all that deposit when they start acting up. And that's why they're a total different breed than these low income tenants. But if you did have to evict one, don't forget they're forfeiting their deposit. I'd send the lease agreement to the attorney and hold on to the option agreement, and then only deal with it if the other side brings it up. And most of the time they don't even show up because the judge has a right to move it from the eviction court and make you foreclose on it. If you put it in most states right now, if they put up more than 20% down, a judge has every right to make you go foreclose on them anyway. But if they put up 20% down, frankly, if they put up that much down, I ain't worried about them for one thing. But if I had to foreclose on it, then I'd have to foreclose on it. But I'm telling you, we're creating problems that probably won't exist if you do it right on the front end. Number one, you got to make sure they understand the stuff that scares you, and you got to make sure that the attorney covers it and puts it in writing and explains it to them again. You do all of that, you won't have problems on the back end. You do one of these tabletop closings where you go in there and, next thing you know, they're having a meeting with their brother-in-law and he tells them, well, you got screwed by that guy or whatever. Use professionals, use attorneys anytime the kind of terms deal you do. Cash deals, I don't care. Use a title company. But the attorneys are there to protect you. By the way, the title companies are not there to protect you. They're there to protect their underwriter, not you. So anyway, enough on that. I don't want to complicate it tonight. That's all part of your training. Guys, you better get signed up because that deal I gave you tonight is not going to last. It's an experiment. It's a market test anyway. If you have any interest at all, go do it now. Remember, you got 30 days to come out and 2 days at the boot camp, the live boot camp, to get a refund if you think this is not for you. I don't know what to do for you more than that. You might want to ask yourself, what happens if you don't? I think back to 1982, when I went to my first seminar, March 12th, 1982. I was broke, clueless, tired of working, hot Florida sun, and came home one night and my wife wanted me to buy her a new washing machine because hers was broke for the third time, and I blew up and got mad, went to bed mad, couldn't do it, didn't have the money, couldn't sleep that night, and I woke up the next morning and started telling myself, what an idiot, what a loser you are, can't even buy your wife, been married 17 years, had 4 kids, and still couldn't buy her a washing machine. And that ain't a good feeling for a man. I made up my mind right then and there. I ain't doing this the rest of my life. And I started looking. It wasn't long before I found that first seminar. And I come this close to not going to it. I almost talked myself out of it because I didn't want to miss Dallas on TV because J.R. Ewing was my hero. Something made me go. You got to ask yourself, how many times do you think I've looked back and asked myself, what would if I wouldn't have went to that seminar? I don't know. But I know there are thousands of people in this country that would be doing something different as well because I made the marginal shift decision to go that night. Now you might think, well, that's funny, but back then it wasn't funny. I was broke in Dallas. I'm telling you, I look forward to JR every week. I love that guy. All right, enough rambling. Are we out of questions?
We've answered all the questions, Ron. We
All
stayed
right.
late, but we
My
got them all
goodness
done.
gracious. It's 10 minutes to 10 right now. We started at what time? 7 o'clock? This
Yep.
got to be the longest webinar I've ever done, John. But I am
know it.
very happy to answer you guys' question, and I'm glad that most of you stuck around. I hope you got a lot out of it tonight, and I hope to see you very, very soon. So thanks for coming.
Quick Start Real Estate School is our staple event. It is our basic training. It is where people actually learn the art of buying and selling houses without using their money or credit. And it's the beginning of the training, but it's the training that actually launches careers because they can leave that training and go out and start doing deals immediately. And then, of course, if they want, they can grab one of our mentors to help them for 6 months and lead them step by step through the process of getting checks. It's quite an intense event. I mean, it's 4 days long, and it's long hours because we don't end until 7:30 on the first night. But the last thing that happens on that first night is that we actually call live sellers. I mean, you hear both sides of the conversations on the phone, and we have some of our mentors call these sellers from leads that the students brought in. And of course, we have a daily feed of these leads into their Gold Club site every day, so we actually get the leads for them, call them for them so they can bring them to class. Now when they bring them to class, our mentors get on the phone and create some deals. And this is a huge benefit because some of the people who bring those leads go home with deals and literally make more money off those deals than every training we could possibly provide to them. And on the second day, the afternoon, we get into the ugly house side of the business, which is wholesaling and rehabbing and buying junkers and that whole business. We cover that during that day. And then on the third day, we actually have a brand new video now of us, a friend of mine, Jay Connor, who's renovated over 420 houses, going out into the field and going through 2 ugly houses and then through 2 houses that he's just renovated. And we go through those with a fine-tooth comb, talking about what we'd fix, how we'd fix it, what would it cost. And by the time you're through, you get a whole overview of rehabbing houses. And one of the things, of course, we addressed hard is the actual cost of what it takes to renovate a house and handling contractors and the like. We even got contractors' agreements right in the manual. The manual's about that thick, and I'm updating it constantly with the stuff you will not get anywhere else. And then on that afternoon, we talk about raising the money, private money. And then I go into some entity structuring stuff. Entity structuring is tax reduction, estate planning, because that is a part of the learning process. It's one thing to go make money, but then we have to learn how to protect it, what entities to use, how do we take title to it, and how do we set up our estate so that our stuff goes where we want it to go. And the last day is spent on selling houses on autopilot. And I do mean autopilot. Automation is built into this entire event. It's part of the learning process, and we have it all set up so when the client goes home, they're ready to do business, not have to go out and find a bunch of stuff and put it all together. And one of the really cool things we do there every single day is we take all of these property information sheets that were called during the event by our mentors, and I discuss them. So we go over them every single day, all right, what's the next step? In fact, we even get a contract for them before they even leave to take out into the field, because literally appointments are made while they're making the calls. Then I also have Jay Connor, who comes from North Carolina and done well over 420 rehabs, but he's also the expert on getting private money from individuals, not from loan sharks. Jay helps me throughout the event as well, and they sit down with students and they work with them and they help them overcome any issues that they have, and they give them guidance and how to build their business as part of the event. You know, one of the biggest things that people get out of this is they build a big old network of nationwide relationships, because people come from all over the country when we do this live, and they get to know each other and they grab each other's information, and that creates relationships that go on for years and years and years. I've seen it happen over and over. Plus, you know, if I want somebody in LA and I live in Jacksonville, and I build my list, and now I can call on that list whenever I need to. And frankly, the students get as much from the other students as they get from the teachers, because some of the people in the room are doing deals, they're doing business, because we let people come back for free to this event as many times as they want for the first year, and very inexpensive even after that. So there's a lot of good quality people. I'm constantly updating the content of this event, because things change, technology changes. And I think one of the biggest benefits is the students bring stuff to me. I learn as much from them as they learn from me. And as I learn it, I add it to the content of the class. And frankly, one of the biggest benefits of people coming to a live event is that they get to sit around and talk to the other people. And the other one is that I have full attention the whole time, and I never know what you're doing when you're watching virtual. I don't know what you're doing behind that. And we can't have any fun. I can't tell jokes because I can't hear anybody laughing.
Hello, dear.
We've discovered that people learn 3 times more at a live event, and they'll have a whole lot more fun at a live event than they will ever have at a virtual event.
Oh, I agree.
But going forward, we will still be doing virtual events, and we'll have live events mixed in.
Okay.
And the good news is that once you attend a virtual event, you can come to a live event at no charge, and vice versa. So you actually can get to experience them both, and you don't have to wait for a live event to come up. There's just a couple of things that one has to learn to crack the code to really turn this machine on and grow it as fast as they want to grow it. And frankly, you're not ever going to believe how much money can be made in real estate until you come spend 4 days with the old guy.